We are live. This is the 2026 NBA Draft. Michael Jenkins is here. PJ Glasser is remote. We'll have guests jumping in throughout the entire night. I was messing around with some camera angles here, guys.
What do you think?
Well, the issue is here. You and I are sitting on the same set.
Right.
We got Peach remote. We're going to have more guests that are going to be remote. I just thought, we'll keep it a little more simple because that's the end. That's the end game with all of this, guys. This is a draft that has been anticipated for quite some time. And this has been a lottery that was anticipated for quite some time. Here we are. We finally are at the point tonight where we have a result, not just one, but we'll know everybody else after that. But look, PJ's got his Wizard stuff on.
Yeah.
We know he's ready and excited about this. I've been talking about this on radio for I don't know how long, whether it's going to be AJ Dybantsa or Darryn Peterson. AJ Dybantsa is the likely choice. AJ Dybantsa is the most that's the guy that's the safest pick for the Wizards as well. I love Darryn Peterson. I've said it for a while, and we know that they were serious for the longest time, certainly having conversations with him, PJ. But, in the end, I think when this is done and we are officially on the clock, it's going to be AJ Dybantsa going to the Wizards first.
I agree, Nick. And, that's what Shams has kind of been reporting the last 12, 14 hours or so, is that it looks like it's going to be AJ. The odds have moved pretty dramatic. I think he's like a minus 900 favorite now. So barring anything unforeseen, it looks like he will be the number one pick. I've kind of told everybody, I hope it's AJ. That's who I would take. But if it's Darryn Peterson, I'm not disappointed. You know what I mean? I still think he's a great player with great upside. His freshman year at Kansas is well documented. We all know there were a lot of ups and a lot of downs, but he drew Kobe comps. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of the coaches that he went against said that he reminded them of Kobe. I mean, the talent is that good. So like you said, the draft is deep. There's a lot of stars. And I think you could argue this is one of the rare drafts where you almost have 3 number one picks, because a lot of people like Cameron Boozer a lot too and think that he could be the number one pick too. But AJ would be my pick. Nick, sounds like you're the same way. And Jenks, what about you? Would you take AJ one if you're the Wiz?
I mean, I've kind of gone back and forth. And when you talk about those Kobe comparisons, I always get a little nervous when you hear a player coming out of college and you drop a name like LeBron or MJ or Kobe. But if you're talking about a pure shot maker, I mean, he's that guy. But I think now that they've signed Trae Young, if you're talking about fit, I kind of went from Dybantsa to Peterson, but now when you based on fit, I think it's got to be Dybantsa when you look at the rest of the roster.
Well, there's Adam Silver.
Yep.
Popping up there. Every year, man, he looks more and more bald and shiny.
I was going to say, I don't know how you can get balder when you're already bald. It looks like he's lost all of his body hair. It's kind of crazy.
I'm going to work on this. This is the thing. We got to get the full screen in here.
All right,
we're
come
gonna,
on in.
It's pretty good now.
Come on in.
I think we're good now.
Cozy, and I think
Well, I'm getting texts from the social team that's like, hey, we got to fix it. Well, you don't have PJ here doing the whiteboard. He couldn't. Here's the thing. Nobody will do the whiteboard except you for drafts, PJ. So I just want you to know that now. But I think this is good. Jenks and I brushed my teeth. I showered.
Yeah.
So we will scoot in as we get ready here. Yeah. Look, I think the thing about this draft is this is a draft that has a ton of hype, a ton of talent, but the Wizards in the end at the number one spot are in such a great place because you could just end up having a situation here where it's AJ Dybantsa and Darryn Peterson both just having really good careers. I know we spent a lot of time breaking this down. We spent a lot of time looking at this. This becomes this whole thing. We're projecting who's going to have a better career. There may just be a chance where this goes down as one of, if not the greatest draft classes we've ever seen. And we're talking 03, 96, 84. I mean, 07 was a good draft class too. Some of those, we may just be done with this and look back in a few years and go, God, every single guy hit. Sort of the 2024 quarterback class, at least the first 3, right? Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May. The odds are not really in their favor. They'll all have Pro Bowl careers and Hall of Fame careers, but I mean, sometimes you just kind of defy the odds, and that could be what we end up having with this. Is the Wizards are on the clock now?
Can I just say, I can't believe we're here.
I know.
I cannot believe we're live right now, and we're talking about, hey, they're showing pictures of the 1978 NBA Finals when the Wizards were the Bullets. The fact that we're actually talking about the Wizards in less than 5 minutes, we're going to know who's going to be this franchise-changing player because it's going to be a stud no matter who it is. It's remarkable that we're here because there's been so few times. This is the 3rd time in franchise history they've had the number 1 overall.
Look at those John Wall highlights, guys. God.
Yeah.
People forget. I mean, John Wall in his prime, man. Oh,
so good.
Peach, just so damn good. Just so much fun to watch. So athletic.
The pull-up jumper was automatic, and I've never seen a right-handed guard dunk as well with his left hand as John could. It was unbelievable how good.
You're right. That's a great point.
He was so good at that. I mean, there are obviously like Kyrie's great around the rim, Dwayne Wade's great around the rim, Dylan Harper's super young, he's great around the rim, but John, like, dunking as a right-handed player with his left hand was unbelievable. So yeah, he's great. He was obviously a good number 1 pick, and hopefully whoever they take here in the next couple minutes is really good as well. But Nick, as you mentioned, like, there's a good chance all these guys towards the top are really good. You just look at last year's class. Cooper Flagg went 1, Dylan Harper went 2, and VJ Edgecombe went 3. I think if all those teams had a chance to do it again with the top 3 picks, they'd feel pretty good about how it ended up, and maybe this class just ends up being the same way. I also love, you guys, how this class is, there's so many players from college this past year. As you know, the NBA has become such an international game, but really all these guys we're probably going to see in the first round tonight, outside of 1, maybe 2, we all watched in college basketball this past year, which I think is really cool too.
Also, is there any more chill group right now than Wizards Brass? Did you see that picture? They're at the wharf right now. Like, the sun's coming in. They're all dressed in black, and they're just sitting there. Like, everything is arranged perfectly. They could not be more excited and chill about what's going to happen. And I mean, how could they not be? But this is like their time to shine.
Well, you're also in this position, too, where you control the draft. You got multiple guys at the top of the draft that you should be more than happy to draft.
Yeah.
I think we know it's probably going to be, again, AJ Dybantsa, Anise Dybantsa, by the way. They're going to say his full name. It threw me off when they did the player intros,
right?
Have
to do that now? Is he going to change his name?
I don't know. I don't
know.
know.
It can happen.
So, I mean, listen, it feels like just seeing that clock counting down now, for the love of God. Like, again, it's cool to talk about the draft for a while. We did the same thing with the NFL draft, right? Like, who's going to take who, whether it's, it was the Commanders for DC, just to tie that in. We got people watching us all around the world here. Like, there's any team, it's going to be the same thing. At the least, like, the most important thing, I think, with all of this is that the Wizards have that control. Like I said, the Wizards have choices at the top of guys that could be franchise-altering players. And you just have to kind of go with, are you going to take maybe a little bit more of a risk from a PR perspective, drafting somebody like Darryn Peterson that might have higher upside, or are you going to go with the guy that's described as the guy you can draft and sleep well at night, and that's AJ Dybantsa? Again, I think it's Dybantsa here. The pick is in. Let's get this done, because, damn it, I want to see the rest of this draft, because, like, the leading up to this, Peach, I'm just, like, I'm tired of the speculation. I'm tired of texting back and forth. I mean, I'm not tired. Thank you for everybody that's giving me all the information outside of this. But, like, you get to a point where it's like, I'm done saying, I talked to this guy about this, and maybe this, we spin our heads. For the love of God, I just want this pick to actually come in.
No, I'm with you. I'm excited. This is a good moment, and it's rare to see the Wizards in the national spotlight with so many people talking about them and waiting to see what they do. So that's pretty cool too. But yeah, I'm with Jenks, man. Like you said at the top, it's crazy that we're here. The lottery just kind of flew by ever since that happened. And we've obviously been talking about the pick. People thought, are they going to trade it? Are they going to move down? All these sorts of things. They ended up keeping it, and now they're going to get their guy. I'd love to know when they actually decided who were they going to go with. Do you think that was like today? You think that was a couple days ago, last week? Like, when do you guys think they definitely knew who they were going to take?
I feel like they've known for a while. Now, I'll give them credit for keeping it close to the vest, because, I know Shams has come out, but that's been in the last, like, couple of hours where even the odds have moved from -650 to -900. So it looks like it's AJ. But I feel like, and we can talk about this later, once they signed Trae Young, it just felt like AJ was the best fit for this group of talent that they have.
Just get it ready. Just get it. Just get the name said. Get it all done. I'm just so ready to see the way the rest of this draft goes. And let's keep in mind here, too, like, there's a lot of chances for other things to happen in this draft that involve trades, there's always one guy that drops in a draft. NFL and NBA is the same thing. There's always somebody that drops. There's always somebody that rises. And there's always somebody that gets passed over that you don't even think about, that later on we're going, how did they miss out on this guy? Peach, if you had to name somebody that you think is going to be overlooked in this draft that will surprise a lot of people, who do you think it would be?
The guy that I think is going to surprise people, I think Nate Ament could go pretty high tonight. I think he's maybe looked at to go bottom of the top 10 or maybe like early teens, somewhere in that range. But I think he could go like 5 or 6. He had pre-draft workouts with the Clippers and the Nets, who were picking 5 and 6. So I think he could potentially go there. On the flip side, the guy that I think could maybe drop is Michael Brown from Louisville. So we'll see. But it looks like Silver's at the podium.
Here we go. Adam Silver is at the podium. And select Dybantsa Jr. It's official. I don't know if we're always going to call him that, but we'll call him that tonight. He is officially the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft. And listen, this is a pick this guy led the nation in scoring as a freshman. He's built for the NBA. He's got the body for the NBA. Pause. He's somebody that's ready-made. You know the guy can score. You know the guy's competitive and wants to be that. I think the two things that we'll watch as his career develops, the three-point shot, does that get better like an Anthony Edwards as, one of the examples? And do you see maybe a little bit more effort and more consistency defensively with him, PJ? But look, I mean, the guy fits the perfect mold of what you want in today's NBA. You want that wing, 6'9", 6'10", sitting around 215, 220 or so, and he's going to be a guy that can play off the ball. You get him the ball, and he's going to go score for you.
He's awesome. At BYU this past year, for people that really don't watch too much college basketball, they were a great offensive team. And the second best player, Richie Saunders, got hurt maybe like early February. And when he got hurt, I mean, the scouting report going in every BYU game is to stop Dybantsa. And when Saunders got hurt, it became even more so, right? Double, triple teaming him. And teams they still couldn't stop him. They had no answers. Jenks knows this as a Texas fan. When they played Texas in the tournament, Sean Miller got interviewed at one of the timeouts, and they're like, how do you stop him? And he's like, we can't. I mean, that's just like they can't stop him. So he's an awesome player, 3-level scorer. And, the Trae Young contract talk is a big topic right now. Was it an overpay? Yes, it was. But
I hate
still
it so
think,
much.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate the contract, Peach. I hate the Trae Young contract so much.
Really?
I just need to say that.
I don't hate it that much. Is it an overpay? Yes, but he's such a good offensive player, and I think he's going to be so good for AJ. So yeah. I mean, this is who I wanted. This is who a lot of people wanted. So very happy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and also they don't have a player like him. Like, even if you
talking about Dybantsa, or are you talking about
Dybantsa?
Yeah.
If you had potentially drafted Peterson, like, obviously he's a different type of player because of his shot making ability, but they have a ton of guys who are guards where you don't necessarily have a guy who can play at this small forward position, who can drive and make pressure inside the paint. There's a difference between a guy like Sarr, potentially AD, who are sitting inside the paint, and a guy who can drive and collapse the defense. They don't have a guy like that with that athletic ability. So I keep going back to fit. And as far as fit goes, when you look at the young roster, like, I think he's going to be a perfect fit for who they have. And honestly, with as much young talent as they have, I wouldn't be surprised if potentially they make a move as well.
So that's the thing, too. So the Wizards might be trying to get back into the first round again. There's other teams either looking to trade out. I mean, the Thunder are looking to package 17 and 12 and move up. I mean, there's a lot of that now that could take shape. It's probably going to be well, here's the thing. It's probably going to be Darryn Peterson, number 2. But, guys, what if it is Cameron Boozer? I mean, listen, behind the scenes, scouts absolutely rave, and we've heard obviously publicly, too, but just love what Cam Boozer could be as a pro in the NBA. I know if you're going to talk about like fit and the way the Jazz roster is set up, okay, but who cares? Like, that's the thing. Teams that are where the Jazz are, where you're rebuilding, or the Wizards, who gives a shit what the fit is? Just get the most talented player and you figure the rest of it out from there.
I'm with you. I think the NBA is much different than the NFL. Like, the NFL, the Raiders have the number 1 pick. I didn't think Mendoza was the best player in the draft, but they desperately needed a quarterback. So you get the best quarterback. The NBA, I just feel like more often than not, you go with the best player. And I think the Jazz, it was simple. Whoever the Wizards take, you take the other guy. And I think it's what they're going to end up doing. I think they take Peterson as their pick is in. But yeah, there's always like talks of when does the draft start, because we had an idea that AJ was probably going 1. Like, that probably felt like an 85-90% chance, even though we all kind of think Peterson's going to go 2. Would not shock me if Boozer went 2 here. I could see that because there are a lot of people that like him. Obviously, his dad played for Utah, Carlos Boozer. So I think that's a possibility, but I do think the Jazz are going to end up going with Peterson, Jenks.
I mean, if you look at all that, like the analytics, like the numbers just love Carlos Boozer. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like just every single metric across the board measures him as number one. But ultimately, it's about ceiling. Like this is why you're seeing Peters. This is why you're seeing Dybantsa. Even Caleb Wilson, I'm telling you, is an absolute dude who just like jumps off the charts as far as like his ceiling is concerned.
Yes.
Like that's a guy I don't think Memphis would take him at 3, but if there's a guy who I think could maybe leapfrog Boozer, I don't think it happens. I think it's Wilson just because of his upside.
It's, when you're drafting, there are some times where it's not just about the player, but it's also about the public perception. Some GMs care about that more than others. Some owners care about that more than others. But that gets factored into this at times too. They're showing Darryn Peterson now. That's a face of a guy that's motivated. That thought he was going number 1. That was pissed off he's not going 1.
That's the face of a guy who doesn't want to go to Utah.
I was going to say,
funny?
That's what's so interesting. This top 3, Washington, Utah, and Memphis, I think when they took a survey, were the 3 teams that like players wanted to go to the least. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
No.
I would say this, not the Wizards anymore. The Wizards have now become a place where young players want to go. Alex Sarr wanted to go there. Ace Bailey was trying to maybe not tank his draft stock. But dude, he was trying to avoid the Jazz so the Wizards would draft him. I think I would put the Wizards less than that, but you're right. Like Utah and Memphis, like you're going to be kind of, especially in Utah, like you play for the Jazz right now, you're going to be kind of hidden. You're not getting a lot of national TV games. Like that's the type of thing. It's different. You're talking about Chicago. There's a history there a little bit more. Look, it doesn't matter. I think this is probably going to be, by the way, we have a rule. We are not looking at alerts. Do not look at Shams breaking, although I don't think he's doing it. No spoilers. Here we go. Second pick. Darryn Peterson. So now at this point, I think we probably know the way the rest of the draft is going to go. Most likely Cameron Boozer 3 to Memphis, 4 Caleb Wilson going to the Bulls after that. And then it starts to maybe get a little bit more dicey, a little bit more. I think that's where we're going to start to see a little bit of that movement. So right now, at least, like, here's the one thing I will say too, guys. We're in the middle of lying season. There's so much shit being thrown around everywhere. And you hear at the very beginning what teams like, and you see mock drafts. Then it gets to a point where there's all these lies in the middle. And then right at the end of it, like right before the draft, you start to hear, well, this is most likely where this team is going. Believe the stuff you see at the beginning. Believe the stuff you see right before the draft. Everything in the middle tends to be a lot of bullshit.
No question.
100%. This is a great pick for the Jazz. I mean, they were honestly in the perfect position. You clearly want to be number 1, but when you have a clear consensus, number 1 and number 2, when you're number 2, it's almost better because you can't say 10 years down the line, look, we took the guy that was just right there. You know what I mean? I'm going to turn this a little bit on.
Yeah. I always thought the Jazz were in a good spot. Like you always want the number 1 pick. You want to be the team that gets first pick at who you want, but with how great the top of this board is, and with Dybantsa and Peterson both being elite superstar, core guys, face of the franchise type players, they were in a good spot to where whoever the Wizards take, you just take the other guy, and that's what they ended up doing. And Utah's got a young nucleus of players. It's going to be really interesting getting Ace Bailey last year and now getting Peterson. So they got a nice little core. Memphis now, again, we all think they're probably going Boozer would be my guess, which they got to feel pretty good about. But yeah, this whole Ja Morant thing is fascinating. If they ended up dealing him this offseason or move on and now make whoever they draft here kind of their guy to build around. So it's interesting.
It's crazy. It's so funny you said that because I was about to bring that up. Like, has there been an absolute fireball of a superstar, just like absolutely red hot, highlight reel every night, and then all has just like dropped off the map because of issues off the court or not trying as hard, issues with his coaches, and now this franchise. This guy looked to be a cornerstone of this franchise for the next decade, and now it's like, yeah, he's probably going to be dealt. Like he can obviously still play, but where he was at one point, like white hot, to where he is now, like that's about as precipitous. He's precipitous.
Good word. Can you spell it?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, country of origin, please, if you could.
Yeah.
let me rephrase that. What a huge drop off. But you know what I mean? Like really from where he was, it's remarkable that we're talking about that.
Change something here.
You guys keep going.
No, that's for sure. Yeah, Jenks, it's wild. All these names that potentially could move. We got Giannis yesterday, obviously, but now Anthony Edwards could be wanting out. Ja Morant has been saying LeBron is a free agent. Kawhi's out there. A lot of people feel like this is the best time of the year with the NBA when you get the draft and then free agency and all the silly trades that are happening. And with Giannis already be
Maybe.
moving, could be nuts.
You want to see the toughest? So it's in the shot here. You want to see the toughest basketball hoop to ever make a shot on? Because we got time.
Oh,
Go ahead.
This thing is from the dollar store, and
Okay.
it's a huge piece of shit. But we're gonna try tonight to actually make shots on it. Feel that
oh
basketball.
my God. All right.
This thing is more deflated than a Tom Brady football. But like, it's like the most impossible thing to make shots on. But that's gonna be our goal tonight in between picks. We're gonna get James up here too.
Let's
I
give
don't
it a
even
shot.
know if you can hear me. You might be able to hear me.
No, I can hear you.
Impossible. It's the
Has that
wobbliest thing in
always-
the world.
Has that always been in your garage?
Yes, most people haven't noticed it, and I decided, you know what, tonight we could just play some basketball. So so it actually says, if you look at it, it's clearly just made in a place where nobody knows the actual phrase. It says swoosh on it, not swish.
Swoosh. That's how you know it's quality.
Yes,
It's a swoosh.
It's a swoosh basketball hoop. So we can just tonight try and shoot on it and see if we can make shots. There.
I thought you had it.
Almost. This is the goal tonight, is to just make one on this stupid thing. It's really
Pretty
hard.
good.
All right.
This is like one of those trick things at the carnival.
It is.
You know?
Big scams, by the
Yeah,
way.
it's a big scam.
Big scams. No, nothing. This is just me. We need another camera person here to actually get a close shot. We went with fewer people tonight because we all knew that AJ Dybantsa was going number 1.
Ashooh now 0 for 17 on the night.
Yeah,
this is bad. I'm telling you, this is really hard to make a shot. Can you actually
Making
see me?
Shaq look good from the line.
Can you even see me?
We can see the swoosh back.
But, like,
Oh, there you
feel
are.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better. I foresee Ryan Horvath losing a couple units in a game of horse on that pop shot in the future.
This is even a harder angle right here. I mean, it's like downright. Yeah! There you go, folks. And we're done.
I'm trying
Well
to think
done,
of the
sir.
last time I've shot on like a Nerf hoop like that, man. It's been a long time.
I've got a
Yeah.
long time.
Long time.
Tight shot, tight ass shot.
Come on
we got
in.
here.
Water's
What did I do
warm.
with my phone? Oh, there it is. All right, we're loosening up now, guys. Wizards are off the board. We got the first 2 picks. We're good. All right, so first big surprise. When is that coming? I'm hoping for like a big trade tonight. Like, I would love to see Kawhi get traded tonight, and then
Possible.
get another under the table deal like aspiration or whatever that was. I think that's a good idea.
Well, when you
Yeah.
were talking about the Wizards maybe looking to jump back in the first round, I immediately started thinking like, could they trade Anthony Davis tonight? Maybe, I mean,
So, I mean, I think we have to be honest with ourselves. Anthony Davis is not going to be around. The question is just going to be when. They would benefit from getting him out on the. All right, here we go. Pick number 3 coming in. Grizzlies select Cameron Boozer. All right. So far we don't have any surprises. I was kind of hoping for, a massive surprise with the Wizards taking Darryn Peterson, but first off, we got people jumping in that don't go and put surprises in the chat. Come on now. By the way, we're on YouTube. We're on X. A lot of people watching on X. X is great for live streams, by the way. A lot of that. Twitch, if you're on there too.
It's good for live streams and insulting strangers.
Yes, you can also do that.
Is Jake commenting things?
Is Jake? No, we need Jake to stay away for a while. Jake had way too much Malort the other night. For anybody that watches the show in the U with Jake Hassan, it was game 1 of the College World Series. I think it was 9 shots of Malort. Just the most disgusting 9. I swear to God, bro, it's the most disgusting. For anybody that doesn't know what Malort is, there is actually just Google Malort face. And it's people that have tried Malort for the first time. The first time I was in Chicago, I'll never forget. Friends were there. We were there for, there's a whole group of us. And, a couple of them lived there. So I had no idea what it was. They're like, hey, why don't you go try this Malort? It's a local delicacy. And I'm like, all right, probably something here. The minute they bring you a shot, they also bring you as well a beer. And you think to yourself, well, that's probably a problem because nobody asks for a chase. If you don't ask for a chaser, they don't bring you. And they're like, you're going to need this. I'm like, oh, God. I tried it. It's like my mouth imploded on itself. It's the most disgusting thing on earth. And this dude loves it. He did 9 shots during the game 1 live stream. And listen, he's an animal and he's tougher than me because that stuff is just not, it's inhuman.
Nothing
it's
about that sounds good.
It's the worst. So,
nothing. I've never had it and I have no interest. And
it's all good, Michael. I see you on there. No spoilers in the chat, guys. If you're a little bit ahead of us here. Michael Hopperhouse. Yeah, please don't do that. So, But you know what? I'll put the apology up on screen. There you go. We appreciate the apologies. We don't do spoilers here, all right? Because we know the social media is going to get us something a little bit first. We're trying to just keep it. You know what? I got to be honest with you. It's that's what I like to call raw dogging the draft. Like, I don't want to look at what the picks are going to be beforehand. I want to know exactly in the moment what it is, because it got really bad for a while. And when Woj was doing it too, or then you'd have they wouldn't say it, but they would use like code words. And I just let's get back to actually just seeing the draft in the moment and reacting to it and getting excited or getting pissed off. That's the purity, Jenks, of the draft.
Well, you can't. Well, and the NFL is particularly bad about this.
Oh yeah,
you know, like it's awful because there's so much time between picks compared to the NBA. Like, you just can't keep a secret, and NFL
no,
you just cannot. So if you're trying to have the 2-screen experience, like, it just doesn't work during the draft.
What I did enjoy, though, when Woj would break the picks is how he would break his thesaurus out and he would go, the Wizards have zeroed in on so-and-so.
Yes.
The Bulls have their sights set on, and he's using different words to basically say the same thing. We're like, okay.
I feel like now we could use AI to just come up with a bunch of different phrases. Look at Carlos Boozer sitting down with you know, it is weird, and I know it's not like this is the first time we've seen this, but the more and more that you start to see players that you remember playing in NFL, NBA, whatever, seeing their kids get drafted, seeing their kids play in the pros, it makes you feel old. And it just happens way too fast. You're like, no. This shouldn't be happening yet. And it is. And Cameron Boozer now, I remember Carlos Boozer. Let's also not forget, Carlos Boozer screwed over the Cavs. Remember, the Cavs drafted him in the second round. He actually opted out of his deal. And then they let him, I think the team didn't pick up his option, so then they could sign him to a longer-term deal. The Jazz swooped in and were like, we'll give you more. And he was like, sorry, guys. And he bolted from the Cavs to go to the Jazz. So it was kind of a shitstorm, but like, I also don't blame him at the same time either. He got way more money from the Jazz, so.
Oh, I don't think I ever knew that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Go ahead, PJ.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, I saw Cam Boozer play in person 4 times this past year, and I'm very interested to see what he's like as a pro, because his college game, to me, resembled a little bit of like what Tyler Hansborough was in college, where he was just bigger, he was more physical, he was more fundamentally sound than just the kids he was going up against. Now, Boozer's a more well-rounded player. Like, he's a better passer. He's got a better 3-point shot. He's a better overall shooter. But I just thought that a lot of the scoring that he did, he's just been bigger than everybody else's entire life. So now making the jump to the NBA, I'm very interested to see what that transition looks like for him. But been a winner everywhere he's gone.
Because if you think about it, PJ, like he's sort of like perfectly suited for the college game, right? Like, for the reasons you mentioned, like he has the physical skill set, and he is more polished than Hansborough. But like, Hansborough was so dominant because he was just perfect for the ACC. He was perfect for the college game. But you're like, okay, well, he should be a good pro, but do those skills translate when he's meeting his physical match? And I think Boozer is better, but I know exactly what you're saying, where he's almost too perfect of a player with that massively high floor. But then you wonder, all right, can he take it to the next level like, a Dybantsa can, or like a Peterson can? And I think it's a fair question.
Guys, how do we feel about the fake books on the table there for that interview set going on right now? I'm not a fan. Looks really fake. No, it looks, it's bad.
Did you see what the books were? I think that's a big part of this too.
No, if you notice, they have them turned so you only see the page side and not the spine side of the book. So clearly they're not real books. I think it's very obvious that that's the case.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Makes sense. All right, let's see who the Bulls end up taking.
All right,
4.
Pick number 4 coming in. I think we know it's Caleb Wilson, and then we can start getting serious here. So, Caleb Wilson, and now we are into the real draft, guys.
Yep,
it's
agreed.
funny.
Now is
the
when
mock drafts and the top 4s and the way they've been from the beginning is exactly how it went. Now, don't get me wrong. Do I believe that the Wizards really were interested in Darryn Peterson? Yes, I do. But I also wonder what happened if you're looking at the extension for Trae Young. I'm sitting there watching Caleb Wilson, realizing he looks like he's 12. I always forget how young some of these kids look too. Caleb Wilson looks like he's like 12 years old.
He does. He's got that baby face.
I know.
Yeah, he does.
I know we talked about it a little bit, but I side with you. The Trae Young thing, I mean, I don't want to get too far off base here,
Dude, there's no rules tonight. You know that.
Far too much money. And I know you said that DC is a destination for young guys, but for veterans, like guys who are free agents potentially, like, is DC a destination really? I don't think so. And I almost feel like the Wizards had to overpay to sort of get that ball rolling and say, no, we have a young core. Guys are willing to stay here. But I think they had to overpay to make Trae Young stay to sort of get that going, because when you've had so much futility like they've had, well, of course, they've had some bright spots with John Wall going back to Gilbert. But overall, talking about a franchise that hasn't been a destination for so long, and it's almost like they had to overpay to build that base again. If you wanted to say, no, we're actually committed to building something here, and this is proof even if we overpay.
It's a nice change of pace. It's a nice change of pace to do it the right way and not play for the 8 seed. And that's really what it is. Like, it's interesting too. And just looking at the draft as a whole, guys, when you talk about like the Wizards, building it from scratch. I mean, I've been comparing it to, again, there's connections obviously with Michael Winger and Will Dawkins to the Thunder's front office, but draft picks are going to have more value down the road in trades as well. So like teams that are maybe looking to go that route as well and get a little younger, and maybe there's a surprise trade tonight. You might be looking at this draft, and then maybe if there's like more than one pick involved in the draft, it's also, hey, down the road, those Ottery Lods. Oh my God. Ottery Lods. This is going to be a shit show tonight. Very clear. I swear I haven't been drinking. And it's like, it's going to also be, there's a value there to some of these, like, hey, it might be the 8th or 9th or 10th slot, but you could jump up more. Like, I think there's a lot more to that now moving forward with just the value of these picks. I do want to say real quick, with the Clippers up at number 5, so glad the Pacers didn't get this pick, because they were in the finals a year ago. Then they tanked like hell. Oh. And then to see them, just because they're tanking with a bunch of, dealing with the injuries and just deciding we're going to mail it in this season, I'm so glad they didn't get this pick. I'm so glad it's the Clippers. Not that the Clippers aren't cheating bastards.
Clippers got
though.
So lucky.
Yes, they did.
You talk about landing in just like the perfect, precise.
Because this wasn't even their. Yeah, this wasn't even their pick. They lost their own pick.
Right.
They have to be between like 5 and 8 or something, like to land exactly here.
Yes.
Crazy.
If Indiana guys had this pick, or if they had like a top 4 pick, I probably would bet them to win the Eastern Conference, because I still think they're the biggest challenger to the Knicks. They give the Knicks the most fits, just the way that they play, the way that they run up and down. So they would have added to this core with Halliburton coming back, one of these great young players. I think they could have been set up really nice for next season. But like you said, they rolled the dice, didn't work out. And it's kind of crazy in this draft how historically unlucky teams got fortunate in this year's draft. Like the Wizards getting 1, the Clippers, it all working out for them and getting 5. So nice kind of parity for some of the teams in the league. And the Clippers need this, because they went all in with Kawhi and Paul George. That obviously didn't work. Now Kawhi's towards the end. They might be moving on from him this offseason. So whoever they end up getting here at 5, they really need him to be a good player. Now the clock is run out on ESPN at 0:00. So I would think they got the pick in, but would be very Clipper-like if they didn't.
But what's a terrible watch party?
What do they have in their hands? It's like yellow voodoo dolls. What were those things that Clippers fans were like holding in their hands? I know nobody has an answer. I guess it's a rhetorical question, but I saw a bunch of yellow like voodoo dolls. Like, that's the only way I can describe them.
Also, that watch party, like, there's plenty of good seats available. Like, you empty stairs.
It's the Clippers, dude.
Yeah, I know.
How many? Clippers fans are. They're now looking around, going, "We had our chance."
It's not even inside the arena.
It's
outdoors on the stairs.
We're gonna have you guys sit in the bleachers outside the overflow seats.
We going inside? No. You stay out here.
Do you think you guys have met more Clippers fans or Chargers fans in your life?
Ooh. God, I think Chargers fans.
Yeah, I think Chargers fans too. But I think probably Chargers fans.
Because at least Chargers have the San Diego history.
True. Yep.
Whereas like if you're the Clippers, well, I mean, the Clippers were in San Diego at one time.
Well,
but also forever ago. Do you know what I mean?
History lesson for all those kids out there. Good job there, Jenks.
This is true.
All right, now, is it Darius Acuff?
That's who I would take. That's who I would take. If it was the Clippers, I know people think this pick could be Wagler out of Illinois, maybe Michael Brown out of Louisville. I think Acuff's the best of the of the guards that are left. And just look at Calipari's track record, man. I mean, all the guards through the years he's had that have been lottery guys, whether it's been Rose or SGA or Devin Booker. I mean, it's just like more often than not he hits, and this kid might have been one of his best that he's had. So Acuff would be my pick.
That's a good question or a good point, because I was going to ask you, I like Wagler a lot, but then Acuff is very good as well. So I was going to ask you the difference between the two, and Calipari is a good point.
All right, here he is, Adam Silver. Keaton Wagler. They went Wagler, Peach.
Okay. Very interesting.
It kind of felt like it was down to those two.
If I'm going to be honest with you guys, I wasn't as big a Wagler fan as a lot of other people are. Like, he's a great player.
Really?
He's a great shooter. He had one of the best individual performances of any player all season when he went to Purdue and Mackey Arena and dropped like 48 on the Boilermakers. I don't know. It's like his game is like a Luka-ish or like a Paul Pierce-ish, where he's like not the quickest guy. He's playing in slow motion, but he just does such a good job at the separation, and he's got that step back jumper down, and he's a great playmaker. But again, like Pierce, Luka, I mean, these are big body guards, and Wagler was able to dominate the college game. I just don't know if he'll necessarily be able to do that at the NBA level. Again, he's a freshman. He's a young guy. He definitely can develop and get bigger and stronger and all those kinds of things. I think he's good. I just personally might have gone with some other guys over him.
Well, it's the Clippers, so they'll screw this up somehow.
Probably.
Right? I mean, that's, they're going to trade Kawhi. They'll get nothing for Kawhi. Teams are monitoring Kawhi, but if Keaton Wagler is part of their future, it's tough, right? You think about it, you got the two teams that are the secondary teams coming up now, the Clippers in LA, the Nets in Brooklyn, which think about if you're the Nets, they're the next ones up now here. That team had, 5 first-round picks last year, and they just blew it on all of them, at least right now. Again, couple could develop, but they went and a lot of development players, and you're watching the Knicks then win a title, and you're like, hey, we're supposed to be the cool team in Brooklyn. Oh my God, we've got nothing left right now. So maybe it's Darius Acuff, but like I actually probably met fewer Nets fans than Chargers or Clippers fans at this point.
I don't think I've ever met a Nets fan. Honest to God, I'm not kidding.
I think I've met I've met a couple maybe, but it feels very rare.
And you're not gonna meet anytime soon, Jenks, because the Knicks just won the title. So all those kids in Brooklyn, right?
If you were a residual Nets fan, you're all Knicks now.
That's
all
exactly.
Knicks. Oh no, Cat's my guy. Okay.
Yep. Jalen Brunson, he's my favorite player.
I've always loved Brunson, even going back to the Nova days. Okay.
Those are the dudes that have like the Knicks jersey under the Nets jersey, and they just rip off the Nets jersey, and then it's a Knicks jersey underneath. Yeah.
Exactly.
My dad is the worst at that. Like, he's the biggest. He's never going to watch this. He's the worst, like the biggest, like bandwagon person ever. Like a few years ago, I got a random text. Steph's always been my guy. He lives in West Texas, like has he always been your guy?
Well, then I feel like you need
Davidson.
Hold on. If he lives in West Texas, what's he really sound like?
Kind of like that.
All right, there
Steph's
we go.
always been my guy. I love Steph. Hey, I'm a Steph guy. No, you're not. You're not even a basketball guy, actually.
So what prompted him to text you that Steph Curry was suddenly his guy?
Because this is when it was peak Steph,
Oh,
right?
okay.
He's winning titles. He's reinventing the game from long range, and he was like, the guy, even though he still is. But you know what I mean? Like, Steph was having his moment there for a few years, and all of a sudden I'm getting texts about, I've always loved Steph.
So your dad is the ultimate just jump on the bandwagon whenever it's necessary.
Oh, 100%.
Okay. So is he a Knicks fan now?
I guarantee you within the next few months, that Brunson kid, one of my favorites.
Been a big fan forever.
Just something subtle, like always been one of my favorites. Guarantee you.
Awesome. Yeah, Brooklyn
I'm looking at those.
They did make that trade for Julius Randle last night too. So they now they have Randle, and that's why I think it's interesting. Maybe they would have gone in a different direction before they made that trade, but I kind of feel like they're going to go guard. And there was a lot of money coming in on Michael Brown out of Louisville, under 6.5 for his draft position. So I kind of think that's where the Nets are going here. Is Michael Brown would be my guess, but as I was saying with the Clippers
Michael
pick,
Brown over Darius Acuff, yeah.
I would go Acuff, but I think the Nets are are going to choose Brown is what I think they're going to do.
Well, PJ, you're thinking from logic.
I know.
And remember, this is the Nets and the Clippers, the last two. Although, listen, like the Clippers, at least you have a better owner. Donald Sterling's not there with the Clippers. So it's like we don't want to operate in that same old. They just still find ways to just there. Here's the thing, too. When you are a team that's playing from behind always, and what I mean by that in that sense is like the Mets to the Yankees, the Nets to the Knicks, the Clippers to the Lakers. You're always looking to try to like beat your big brother. So sometimes you're making decisions that maybe aren't the smartest, but it's like, we got to go out, like we got to catch up to them. So we got to be aggressive. And it's like, is that actually a smart way to build? Is that really how you want to do it?
Circumvent the salary cap.
What can we do? I've got an idea. Here's a fake company, and we're going to go ahead and give Kawhi a bunch of money under the table. Don't tell Pablo Torre. So Darius Acuff, Kingston Flemings, Braden Burries. You know, Ade Mara is, Peach, someone that, one, I think it's apparently the Thunder really interested in him. That dude's now going to get a lot of love, I think, because he's 7'4" and can shoot, and people just saw Wemby despite the dirty play because he's a dirty playing bastard. But, you know, it's just they see the way that you know, if you could get another big that can do. Wait, hold on. Is Joe Johnson, he works for the Nets?
I guess so.
I didn't even know that.
Everybody's dapping it up.
Look at that. I didn't know Joe Johnson worked for the Nets.
Had no idea.
Anyway,
well, I think what's interesting, with Mara too, Nick, is now his coach is the coach of the Mavericks at 9, Dusty May. So who knows? Maybe
that's a good point too.
Maybe the Mavericks maybe take a shot at Mara, but let's see what.
Hey, there's some Nets fans.
There's 4.
There's 4 total Nets fans. All right, here
well,
comes
the draft
Adam
is
Silver.
in Brooklyn tonight, so I would.
That's
hope
true. So they're like they pulled him off the street. We need people in here with Nets. Here's some Nets gear.
Yeah,
Mikael Brown Jr.
All right,
there you go.
All right,
there you go.
Darius Acuff still on the board. I feel like Darius Acuff to the Kings now makes a lot of sense. Maybe Darius Acuff here at 7, Peach.
Yeah. Oh, is that just like, I mean, Darius Acuff to the Sacramento Kings is just the definition of like Pac-12 after dark. Just give me all those buckets. Late night. You know, you're up at 1 a.m. on the East Coast. He's dropping 42 in like Kings Pelicans. I mean, that's just, that feels tailor-made for Acuff.
Kings Pelicans. That's the stuff. Yeah, those are the games that you see. That's like you're out at a bar late, and the only reason people are watching it is because, well, it's on at the bar, and that's the only. Yeah, that's Kings Pelicans. I mean, I'm an idiot, and I would watch games like that, but you know, there's some times where you just realize
sometimes you just gotta have a late night action.
You're like, what are you doing? Why am I watching this? Right? It's like maybe that's the best thing.
For me,
is that Peach?
I actually think if there's any guy that's going to be a bust in the top 10, I'm calling my shot. I think it might be Mikael Brown would be my guess. For one, he's going to the Nets, so that's not great for him.
No.
2, Louisville had so high expectations this year in college basketball after what Pat Kelsey did in year 1 to turn around the program. He has a great transfer class. He brings in a great recruiting class, including Brown. And people think like they're going to win the ACC, their Final Four, their national championship good. And he got hurt towards the end of February, so he didn't play in the month of March. But he only shot it like 34% from deep. And he was just a little bit too inconsistent for me as a scorer. So maybe he's just one of those guys, like his game fits the NBA a little bit better. But again, man, like all these guards that are in this draft between Wagler and Acuff and Flemings and Philon, I would have taken all 4 of those guys before I took Mikael Brown personally. So
maybe Brown's your answer here, but I mean, you're such a college basketball guru. Like who's the guy do you think that is most overrated? Like based on hype, based on profile, that like maybe it's him, but some guy where you think, you know, he's a good player, but I think he's going to be completely like overvalued in the pros.
Yeah, I think Brown is definitely the first one that comes to mind, Jenks, when you ask that question.
So basically, you hate him, is what you're saying, Peach. You just everything is about him. Clearly,
I kind of do a little bit. Yeah, and I'm sure he's going to torch the Wizards for the next 15 years. So can't wait for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, it would probably be him, Jenks. I'm looking at some other guys at the bottom of the draft. I think Bennett Sturtz out of Iowa is super interesting. I loved him in college and he was great, but he did everything for Iowa on offense. I mean, they would run every set. He would get a touch. They would just hold the ball for like 10, 15 seconds. It was basically like watching Tony Bennett's Virginia team with him the last 2 years at Drake in Iowa. And, whatever NBA team he goes to, like, that's just not going to be the case where he's that ball dominant. So how does he make that adjustment? I think it's going to be super interesting, but he is an awesome shooter and he's really smart. He's a great playmaker. So I think he's super interesting. But yeah, I think, Jenks, to answer your question, probably would be Michael Brown, I think. Yeah. Probably the guy. Yeah, I would say.
Peach, why do you hate him so much? No, I'm just kidding.
Because he chose Louisville over Alabama. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't, no, I don't know.
Yeah, those books are fake, guys. They're definitely fake. I think it's very clear that they're fake.
I have a Lisa Salter story for you.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. So
years
ago, she's doing the interviews right now on ESPN.
Yeah.
So this is actually embarrassing for me. So
this is the setting for telling embarrassing stories.
So she was the guest of honor at like the regional Emmys here in DC, right? So
how many of those have you won, by the way?
A handful.
No, come on. Tell that resume, baby.
I won a handful.
Yeah, he's
so
13.
No, it's not true. That's way too.
We're amongst greatness here.
No. But I was fortunate to win, and I was such an idiot. Like, you take your trophy and you just walk through the back of the stage and go behind the scenes. I was like, well, I'll just walk down the front of the stage and go back to my seat. And Lisa Salters is in the front row. So instead of going backstage like I should have, I start to walk right down the front of the stage again to go to my seat. And I make eye contact with Lisa Salters, and she just mouths to me, "Wrong way." And I was like, but by then it was too late. Like, I was already like halfway down the aisle. Like,
you're committed to the idiocy.
I'm like turning right back around and going back up stage. So
that's pretty funny. Yeah. So you walked right through it.
Way.
So you're the guy that went down a one-way road in DC and just said, "Screw it, I'm committed." And you're going right down.
Oh, I've done that before. That is scary.
It happens in DC quite a bit. Yes. All right, here we go. Pick number 7. Kings select. And there you go. Darius Acuff buckets all night, Peach. You're going to get a lot of those out in Sacramento now.
Can I tell you, that jersey is going to go triple platinum in SEC frat parties. It is going to be awesome with the Acuff and the Sacramento Kings. I mean, if I had to rank so far my favorite picks through the top 7, that would be 1. And I think Caleb Wilson to the Bulls would be number 2 so far. Like, this to me feels like when Caleb Downs dropped to Dallas, where like we all kind of knew that there was a chance that he could drop. And we probably knew that there were players that were better than him. Or he was probably better than a lot of players that went ahead of him. But, we knew once he got to Dallas, that was probably the pick. And this is what it feels similar to, where once Sacramento got to 7 and he was on the board, probably knew that's where they were going. So good for them, man. I mean, they need players, they need scorers, and he's
something out there.
Yeah. He's going to be really good.
I can remember when I insulted the Kings a few years ago, and it was just a constant barrage from Kings fans just talking shit to me nonstop. They've been very quiet since that one year they made the playoffs and lost in the first round of the Warriors. So and you know what's funny, and I'll never forget that. I don't know why I remember this. I think it's because it was so stupid, because it was clipped, and it was a show on a previous network that no longer exists, guys. That happens.
What?
Well, I don't know what it was. I mean, story for another day. But the whole point that I was trying to make was like, Kings fans deserve better than the way the Kings were run. But of course, the way it was clipped was just like me insulting the Kings. And Kings Twitter went off. By the way, Kings Twitter is a vile place.
Really?
They are angry. I'm like, God, first off, guys, I was actually saying you deserve better than what the Kings are. But if you want to talk shit, then fine. Okay, then I'm going to just lean into the fact that I'm going to insult your team. And they haven't done anything since. But the reality is, if you look at where the Kings are, Darius Acuff's going to bring a lot of excitement. He's going to be a lot of fun. But like, that's been a poorly managed team for a long time. And I know that eventually it became tank for them, but it's not like they didn't have vets on that roster that they weren't trying to win with. And then they said, Domantas Sabonis, go ahead and sit down. And they're just benching all these guys. They weren't trying to lose at the beginning of the season. They didn't have a roster of like young guys like the Wizards or the Jazz. I know the Jazz had some vets, but I mean, it was just like, they were just so bad. They just said, screw it. We got guys that are hurt. We're going to full on tank. Those were the real tank jobs. The real tank jobs were the Pacers, the Kings. The Jazz are in there, but the Jazz do have a lot of young guys. It's just when you're sitting, some of the other veterans, or a Jaren Jackson Jr. who you trade for and then don't sit. I know you could say about the Wizards, but The Wizards were all young guys to those trades. I don't know. Anyway, the full thing about that is the Kings Twitter is very vile, and they're very angry people. And I'd be angry too if I was a Kings fan. But again, I thought they deserved better, but instead they just hated me forever. But they got Darius Acuff, which I think is actually going to make them at least fun to watch late at night when Peach has action on a Kings-Pelicans game and it's midnight, and he's like, screw it. Kings money line.
I can't wait. When I'm trying to think of like a West Coast, when Washington State lets me down in the Palouse on a Saturday night in college football, I'll be chasing with Acuff in Sacramento. So that'll be a lot of fun. Look forward to that. But yeah, we really haven't had any kind of big surprises so far. Like most of the mocks, I would think up to this point have kind of been through 7. This is how most people would have had it up to this point. So we'll see it now. This is where it gets interesting with Atlanta at 8, Dallas now with Dusty May as the head coach. And then Milwaukee getting an extra pick with the Giannis trade is where things hopefully get a little exciting. Also, I don't think enough people are talking about Dusty May accepting the Mavericks job the day before the draft. Like that is one of the most insane things I have ever seen. I'm sure they've been talking behind the scenes for a while, and I would think he kind of gave Michigan some kind of a heads up in the last week or so. I just don't feel like we're talking about it enough. Like, because he is one of the best coaches in college basketball, they just won a championship, and he's making the jump. Everybody's focusing on that. But guys, like, it's the day before the draft, and they just got a new coach. I think that's crazy.
It's bonkers, and it's crazy. You would bring in someone like 24 hours before you're going to make a selection. Like, you would think, obviously, he would have some sort of input there, and also his journey.
Man, you guys know they were talking for like a month.
Yeah,
this was all so much shady shit behind the scenes. Come on now.
But just think about where he was like 3 years ago. He's at Florida Atlantic, and now he's the head coach of the Dallas Mavericks.
Hey,
that is absolutely bonkers.
I think the kids call that a glow up, if you will. That is a career glow up right there.
God, unbelievable.
But yeah, what's that, Peach? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, like, I get some guys want to go to, the professional level and challenge themselves and be an NBA head coach. But like, man, he could have just chilled in Ann Arbor, made $10 million a year with all this shit that happened with Sharon Moore in the football program and him winning a championship. Like, he's borderline getting to like God status down there. I mean, he would have been like the guy. Harbaugh left him, obviously, and now Dusty leaves him. So because he was so good in college, like, if things don't work out with the Mavs in 2-3 years, he could always go back and get a job. But I was surprised that he left, because he really, it was getting close to like he almost could have had a lifetime contract there with Michigan.
See, that's the point right there, though, Peach, is that if it doesn't work out, he'll get his choice of college jobs whenever he wants. Sure. I mean, Rick Pitino, John Calipari did the same thing. Didn't work out in the pros, went back and had success in college. Like, so that's, to him, it's probably a no-risk situation. But I'm with you in the one thing with Dusty May is that like he was already getting like God status in Ann Arbor. Like, you were getting to that point where you're watching this coach, like, you could make this yours forever.
Like Izzo has done at Michigan State, right? Like, like Izzo has a title, right? And Dusty May, with the way NIL is, like, there's absolutely a possibility he could
free agency, if you will.
Yeah. So why not sit there in Ann Arbor and just be the guy forever? Like, that's absolutely what I would have done.
And especially, as Jakes was saying, like, you were literally at Florida Atlantic a couple of years ago. Now you're making $10 million a year at Michigan. Jeez. I mean, what? Like, and now you just want to move again when you could be moving now 3 years. Look, I mean, I guess good for him. He's a heck of a basketball coach. Maybe it works out. He's got Cooper Flag, but that was definitely pretty.
I think that's the difference maker. Well, there's two difference makers there, Peach. One, it's that you have Cooper Flag. The other is that, don't worry, the move was white glove treatment, I'm sure. So they packed all his stuff. They'll unpack it. So the move probably will be pretty effortless for him. So you won't have to worry about that. But yeah, let's be honest. The Mavs, now that you don't have Nico Harrison in the front office anymore, that's actually a pretty desirable job. It's a big market. I've never really understood why the Mavs haven't been more of a free agent destination. I mean, like when Mark Cuban was in charge too, it was, he put so much into his players. Yeah. I mean, other than those stupid Dallas Cowboys, Dallas is a great city. All right, here we go. Atlanta Hawks. Kingston Flemings goes to the Hawks at 8.
Okay. So yeah, that is a little bit of a surprise there. I thought there was a shot that maybe Nate Ament could go there at 8. I did make a bet on Ament at like minus 180 to go in the top 10. So we're sweating this out a little bit. And I had a feeling it would probably come down to these last few picks. I still think maybe Dallas or Milwaukee could go after him. Thought maybe Atlanta could be a landing spot, but they do need guards. They need guys to go along with Jalen Johnson and shot creators. And for all the guys that love old school NBA basketball that miss the pull-up jump shot, I welcome you, Kingston Flemings, because this kid is the king of the mid-range. His mid-range is automatic, man. It is a thing of beauty. I think he's going to be a real solid player in the NBA. So I like that pick for the Hawks. I think that's really good. And now we get to Dallas, and super interesting with Dusty May. And do they go with the Michigan guy? I mean, they could go with any of the 3 guys here, and it wouldn't be shocking. They could go with Mara, they could go with Merez Johnson, or they could go with Yaxel. And maybe some people would think that they're getting one of their reaching a little bit, but I think any 3 of those guys are justified.
Well, if anyone get the best out of them, it's May, right? Like that would just be sort of serendipity for that to happen. And that would prove Nick's point. Like these guys have been talking for a while.
Oh yeah. Come on.
No doubt.
You know,
yeah, they're picking up the phone and it's like, all right, give us another few weeks. All right. So who do you want? Well, here's our draft board. Let's start working on that. They're sending emails back and forth. Come on. Here's the thing. Tampering happens everywhere.
No, it's
all the time. You can't it's too easy to communicate with people now. We can't play this game of like, no. It's like the legal tampering period when we see that. It's bullshit. We all know that tampering's happened long before it's legal.
That's what Chauncey Billups said when he got arrested. Guys, tampering happens everywhere. It's just a game. It's not a big deal.
We're just, we're using technology.
Tampering happens everywhere.
I mean, AI is helping people write papers. Why can't we use technology to help play poker?
I'm trying to make a little money here.
God. Oh, man. All right, so now we got the Mavs up next, the Bucks. The Warriors are interesting at 11, too, because the Warriors are still kind of all in for squeezing out everything they can with the Steph Curry era. I wonder if they're going to – as they should. But, this is important for them because you need somebody – because the Warriors had that period where they could have, they could have kind of slightly rebuilt when everybody was hurt and they blew it. So it's like, what are you going to do at 11 this time around? But, guys, I can't stop getting mad at these stupid books. I don't know why. I hate the books on the table. I hate them. It looks fake. It looks dumb. I'm the only one that cares about this, and I get it. I hate it.
For more of like a magazine spread.
Just make it plain. It looks stupid. It's like, what are you supposed to be? This is the classy set where we interview all of the players and show their baby pictures. No, just leave it blank. It looks so dumb. And I'm not an interior designer. By the way, whoever that is on the right, she needs to stand up. If you look at her Apple Watch, see if you get her Apple Watch, it's got the arrow. She hasn't stood up in a while.
Is that what that means?
Yes. So the arrow pointing up on the Apple Watch there means she hasn't stood in a while. So she's being warned to stand up. I just want to point that out. You got to be careful wearing your Apple Watch, man. People can expose you. That right there is clearly your watch saying you have sat too long during this draft.
Ma'am, it's time to quit being sedentary.
Yeah. I notice it because my watch says the same thing to me and it tells me to get up and it's right here. It has not told me.
I didn't have. Well, I had a Galaxy Watch, but I had to get rid of it because I was constantly between I was doing this.
It's always happening to me. It's buzzing, and it's throughout all this show, I've got alerts. I've got it kind of set. There's Dusty May, that traitor. There he is. Look at that guy, Peach. Look at that jackass.
Oh man, it's still crazy that he's not going to be coaching Michigan next year.
I know.
But
crazy.
We'll see. How do you guys think he's going to be in the NBA? You think he's going to be pretty good, or?
I don't know. I have a hard time. It's one thing to project players into the pros, but man, when it comes to projecting how a college coach might get it done in the NBA or how his skill set or his coaching set might translate. I honestly, I don't know how to gauge or quantify that. I just don't know. Outside of saying you've been successful everywhere you've been, you're known as a great tactician. That should probably fare well, but then you're dealing with grown-ass men as opposed to college kids. I don't know.
The one thing I will say about coaches now making the jump is that college has gotten closer to the NBA with NIL and with, the transfer portal, where it is There's a level of free agency. They're building front offices with these schools now. You're doing all this to where it's a little bit like the transition used to be a lot harder. It's like you're used to just kids, and now it's this business. And now we're kind of at the point. Wait, is it in? Oh, I thought they were actually up. No, it says it's up, but I thought Adam Silver was actually up there. He's not up there yet. Oh, there he is. All right, where does Dallas go? I do like the little hat stand right on the front of the stage with the smoke. All right. Dallas at 9.
Let's see where they go.
They
did go with the Michigan guy.
Had to do it.
Big shocker there. They hire a Michigan
Look at that
coach
smile. He knew what he was doing all along.
He knew it.
Who would have ever guessed? Peach, if you ever wanted an example that tampering was going on long before the hiring actually happened, although I don't think it counts as tampering if it's a college coach going to the NBA. But look at that. Look at that coach. Dusty May's like, yeah, nobody knows. I bet this a long time ago. I knew they were taking Morez Johnson Jr. real long time ago. Yeah,
he knew.
Oh, yeah.
Also, what's so funny is that Dusty May is sitting with all the college coaches on the side. Like I just saw Tommy Lloyd at Arizona, Grant McCaslin at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Like he's sitting with all the college coaches, and now he's walking over to give him a hug because he's like, oh, yeah, I'm still your coach now again. I'm actually the coach of the Dallas Mavericks. So bizarre, man. Also, how would you feel if you're Yaxel or Mara and like all of you guys are available and your former coach takes Morez Johnson? I'd be a little hurt. I'm not going to lie.
I'd walk up to like Yaxel and if I'm Dusty, man, I'd be like, listen, man, you know I wanted to choose you, but it's the organization. I didn't have
any say in this, you know. No big deal.
It's not you. It's me.
It's not you.
Yeah, it's not you. It's me.
I was gonna make fun of Adam Silver, and then I realized like I'm wider than he is.
Yeah,
look at that. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
He's a skinny dude right there.
Yeah, and I'm he's got me.
You think he weighs?
He's got me.
You think but he's tall though, isn't he?
I think he is. Yeah.
I mean, you're tall, but I think he might be taller than you.
I think he is.
How tall are you?
6 feet.
Okay. I thought you were like 6. I don't know. I thought you were taller than that. I'm just maybe not that tall. That might be why. I think maybe that just puts it in perspective for me a little bit.
Like when I was working with Tim Marino, right?
Of course.
And I met
Stretch. I like to call him Stretch.
Yeah, he's great.
Well, he's 6'7".
Yeah. Well, when someone met me, they're like, wow, you're actually not short. I was like, yeah, I stand alongside Tim every day. Tim's like he's 6'7". So every time they're like, Jenkins must be like 4 feet tall.
Yeah,
like,
no.
Guy's a giant.
No, you jackasses.
That's so funny.
Well, on to the Bucks at 10, who have 2 first-round picks now.
Yeah, they do.
That Giannis trade, man, like that when you're forced into trading a star, you're never going to get the return that involves another star coming back. So it's really all about just what can you get out of the young players and hope that the assets work out for you. It's a bad situation to be in unless you do it ahead of schedule. Like if the Bucks had traded Giannis a year or two in advance, even just a year, you're probably getting more of a return. Maybe even at the deadline, it would have been better for them. Yeah. They just drag this shit out, and then this is what you get left with.
They had to make the move. They had to restart. Like you said, Nick, you're never going to get the return you want. They probably waited a year or two too long to get Giannis's true peak value. They tried to ride it out as long as they could. I ultimately think, even though if they would have gone with Boston and they got an immediate better return in Jaylen Brown, I think going with the Heat was probably the better option because the best player that you get is Tyler Hero, who's a guy from Milwaukee that wants to be there. And I think that's so such a big part of it when you're a smaller market team and you're not a team that's a free agent destination for big stars. When you trade away a big star, if you can get a guy that you have a good feeling is going to commit to you long term, I think that's a win. And Tyler Hero's been a really good player for Miami for a long time. They get all the draft capital, go along with it. They get some high upside players as well. So I thought it was good. I mean, we've certainly seen some other trade, like Dallas's trade of Luka Doncic. It's just like you could have gotten something similar to what Milwaukee.
The dumbest trade in the history of the NBA. Dumbest trade in the history of the NBA. Though remember Peach with the Celtics, Jaylen Brown didn't want to be in Milwaukee. He basically like it was well known. So you have an owner too that's just like, yeah, we're not doing this. We're not making that trade knowing he doesn't want to be here. And then we have another trade request right after one trade request. It's never a good situation, man. When you're forced to trade a star, it's just unless it's if the Wizards had come calling and said, we'll give you the number 1 pick for Giannis, then it works out for you. But we knew that was never going to happen, and that would have been dumb as shit. But, you're always forced into getting less than what's actually going to bring back that true value for you, unless those draft picks actually work out for him down the road. And that's what you got to hope. We're talking into the 2030s for the Bucks, so it's going to be a few years before you get that return.
It's going to be a long grind from Milwaukee.
It's going to be a long grind, man.
I just still can't get over that Dusty May is not with the Mavericks right now.
I love it.
Sitting with all the college coaches. That is insane, you guys.
They were also going after John Shire, too, so they really had their eyes set on college coaches. It's clear that the Mavericks did not want an NBA coach. They wanted to go college and have him make that jump.
Don't you need
John Shire should join John Harbaugh.
Oh, yeah, Pete, you need a Met here, don't you?
Right?
I need a Met here. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. I was going to say John Shire should join John Harbaugh on the Giants coaching staff because they both like blowing big leads in the second half. So that'd be a match made in heaven.
Says the angry Ravens fan who clearly has some animosity there.
All right, yeah, I need Ament here to Milwaukee. And honestly, I kind of like it, right? Because you just traded away Giannis. And I mean, Ament's not Giannis. Nobody is. But from a physical standpoint, he's probably the closest thing in this draft. He's 6'10". He's still waiting to grow into his body and build muscle. He needs to work on his jump shot, but he's a good defender. And it's just his shot is unguardable, you guys. It's like Dirk almost. At that size, he shoots it over his head. So I'm hoping Milwaukee goes Ament 10 here, and I think they will. And then the other thing I'm sweating out. I got Mara to Oklahoma City at plus 425, so we're sweating that out too.
When did you get that? That's great value, dude. Because that if he falls there, they're taking him.
I think so.
They gotta have someone else to deal with Wemby.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
It's the perfect.
It's because Chet Holmgren got exposed.
Oh my god!
In a big way.
Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube, man. Just brutal.
All right. Nate Ament, come on.
All right, Peach is sweating. Here we go. All right, Peach, this is for you, buddy.
Get it.
All right. Bucks at 10. Select. Oh, Braden Burries.
Brutal.
Oh, Peach.
Row for one.
So we're hoping now a day Mara now. That's the hope.
To OKC.
So at least you get that at plus 425.
Yep.
That would be a good pick.
Brutal.
I mean, really, it could be if I don't think OKC passes on him. So the question is, does Golden State like him first? With Brady now there,
they'll probably take him.
I just don't know what Golden State's going to do because it's you have to think about post Steph. So obviously, just take the most talented player that you think is on the board here, but you also want someone that's going to contribute now because. Unless it's LeBron and Anthony Davis and those wild-ass rumors.
That's why there's been some talk that, all right, maybe Golden State wants AD, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to win right now, the Wizards, if Davis doesn't want to play here and they get some other picks, you send him out to Golden State for a final, Steph's final hurrah and let AD and Steph play together and the Warriors finally get some help in the front court. I've heard that a little bit. I don't know how true that is, but it's, one of those billion plausible scenarios.
There's a lot of that out there right now.
Yeah,
there's
interesting.
I think it's good. I like the idea of the Wizards trading Anthony Davis to Portland, maybe for that Denny Advia guy. The Wizards could use him. He'd be pretty good.
It's so funny how everybody's so mad about Denny Advia being traded, and it's like you knew that they weren't going to pay him then. And listen, if they could get him back, that'd be great. I mean, I would love to see that. And if Portland is interested in Anthony Davis, if Portland comes calling right now and says, and I'd have to do this out. I don't know how they actually match up. I think you'd have to do more than that. But Anthony Davis for Denny Avdia, I mean, yeah, you do that in 2 seconds. But Portland loves him. He ain't going anywhere. But I got clowned when I said that he was a steal of the draft for the Wizards back when they drafted Denny Avdia. I would just like to say now and look at him now. Look at him now. You take that, Twitter. You take that. He's just raw. That's all. I mean, it's tough. And a lot of it, too, was, and I've seen these highlights today, you people are just the worst for putting this on Twitter. Jan Vesely, back when the Wizards drafted him. God. What are we doing? Everybody was like, oh, it's like Jan Vesely. I'm like, no, it's not. But, fan bases have scars, right? We all have scars from past picks, from past trade mistakes, whatever, or, a quarterback that didn't work out, or a number 1 overall pick in the NBA. Doesn't matter the sport. Oh, God. I thought we don't speak of that name.
Scars.
You just forget that.
Scars, Nick.
Scars. You ain't lying.
Oh, yes.
There's some scars there. There's definitely some scars.
No, even though I wanted
Michael
Amen
Jordan
at
left some
10
scars too.
for, even though I wanted Amen at 10 for betting reasons, I think Burries is a solid pick. He's just the definition of smooth, man. Like always under control in transition. He's really good. He's got a great jump shot. So Burries is a good player, and him and Tyler Hero, I think, will be a nice little 1-2 punch in the backcourt. But again, I am surprised that they didn't go with one of those front court players, because I mean, you lose so much with Giannis. You obviously lose all that scoring and playmaking, but you use that defense and that ability to guard multiple positions. And the fact that a guy like Amen is there, or Mars there, or Yaxel Landenborg's there, and you go with the guard, I think was pretty interesting.
All right, this is going to be a thing for me all night, guys, but I just noticed this too, and this I'll actually say is pretty creative. They got framed pictures, I guess, of every player.
Yeah.
Like I know they have a picture of their like on the screen. They've got a picture of like their, a childhood picture.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they've got framed pictures behind as well. I guess everybody submit. Who has to go through that?
They must have bought like a few boxes of cheap frames.
Right.
Amazon,
They're buying in bulk.
And just like made, 2 or 3.
But then who handles that? Who's handling the operations where it's like, where's the Braden Burries box? We need his frame pictures. Go. Get the thumb drive. Get it attached to the TV. We got to make sure we get his picture up there.
The latest interns at ESPN.
You're probably right. That's probably what it is. You got to.
No doubt.
All right. Golden State Warriors on the clock. Are they drafting?
Please, no Mara. Please, no Mara.
I know. Listen, he would fit there. That's the thing, Peach. I hate to tell you, but it would be a good fit.
I know.
It's crazy to think the Warriors won 37 games and Steve Kerr could have walked away. It's a little bit left there. Just a little bit left in the tank for this team. They're gonna squeeze all that out, aren't they? Dude, I always forget that Jimmy Butler is there because I feel like, he gets traded and then he's there for a little bit, and then he tears his ACL and like we haven't seen him since.
And also he's always going to be synonymous with the Heat. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
He just always is. Like, he will always be a Heat dude, or that Heat culture. It doesn't matter how many years he plays in Golden State.
For all the shit that we give James Harden for constantly wanting out and getting traded and asking for trades, Jimmy Butler, kind of the same thing. Really, Miami was like his home and it's Heat culture and everything's great. And then all of a sudden he's like, nah, screw you guys. I want out. How long before he wants out from the Warriors? By next trade deadline? Keep in mind, too, Kristaps Porzingis is a free agent, Peach. Day Mara. He does fit that. Just saying.
I know.
Saying.
Come on, Peach.
Very interesting. I tell you what, boys, if Amen keeps dropping, I would love for the Wizards to trade back in, personally.
Trade back in and get him?
Yeah.
Well, there's always one guy that drops, right? We talk about this a lot. There's always one guy that drops. Maybe Amen is that guy.
Well, because I bet on him, he probably is. So I apologize to the Amen family. That's on me.
Isn't that always the case?
Costing your son.
It always feels that way.
A couple millions, yeah.
He looks sharp.
Yeah, it's funny when you see some guys have these really extravagant suits and other dudes just kind of keep it a little more simple.
I was driving here. There was a lawyer had an advertisement on the side of the bus, and like it's clear like this guy had like never tied a tie before. It was like
no,
loose. And like the tie was like turned halfway down. I'm like, listen, man, like I don't know what you're trying to project here, but it's like you put on a suit for the first time in like a few months.
Maybe it's a casual law firm, all right?
Yeah.
And somebody was like, listen, we need to do one suit and tie picture with you. And he's like, I'm a lawyer, but I ain't one of them lawyers that goes out there and wears a suit. I just go fight for my clients. I don't know why I went with that kind of accent for a lawyer.
That's all right.
It's one of those like, tough Southern lawyers. That's what I thought of. Kind of how I picture, your dad's voice as you described it.
There is a guy, and he's very famous in Texas. His name is Jim Adler, and he's known as the Texas Hammer. I swear to God.
Yeah, like it's a cliche, but like it's so true.
Yo, it's so true.
You have those real lawyers, and they're usually really good lawyers, and you don't like. No, not so good. Okay,
they're usually lawyers.
Okay, all right.
Have they have a great slogan. Like the Texas Hammer. Is he the Texas Hammer, or he's just everywhere?
What would a Texas Hammer commercial sound like?
Oh God.
He's gonna get in character here.
I gotta think.
You gotta go back home in your head. That's all you have to do.
Insurance companies are out for you, and you need someone who'll fight for you. Call me, the Texas Hammer, Jim Adler at 888-873-7401. That's 888-743-7401. I forgot the number.
Was that close to the number?
That's outstanding.
It's on the top.
This is what I love. Jenks can get into character at any moment. I like it. That's going to be the game. As the first round goes on, we're just going to start doing characters. I think that's where this is going to go tonight.
Is there a Texas athlete called the Texas Hammer? And I don't think there is. That's a really big missed opportunity.
It actually is. It actually is. All right, Golden State Warriors on the clock, or selections in. Peach, you're still alive.
Yaxel
Lendenborg.
Come on.
They took Yaxel.
How about it?
Yaxel.
Oh, I love that. The Brandon Whedon of the 2026 NBA lottery draft. Yaxel. 24 years old. Been in college 6 years. God bless him. He's a heck of a basketball player, though. And he will help them immediately right away. So good pickup for Golden State. And again, if you're OKC, I just don't see how Mara is not the pick here. Jenks, you said it, man. It's like Wemby. Wemby's the guy you got to go through for the next decade plus in the West. It doesn't matter what you do against the 28 other teams. If you can't beat San Antonio, you're not winning titles. And Chet was just such a liability in that series on both ends of the floor. You got to find a way to address that. So I would think, because OKC's shown the ability. I mean, they can get guards that are undrafted. They can get guards that are in the second round that produce for them. So I would think that the pick here is
It has
Mara.
to. Yeah, I totally agree.
I don't know if Nathan is either giving us numerology or giving you a fake phone number.
That's got to be a fake phone number.
I think it's a fake phone number for your lawyer commercial. 444-444-444. Good job, Nathan. In the YouTube chat, you can jump in all of those chats. We're on X as well, but yeah, X is annoying. They don't let you see the chats unless you go in there. You were streaming all these different things, and there's everything's different everywhere. But I think so that would actually be the commercial. So if we're going to re-record the commercial later for the Texas Hammer, 444-4444.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's really the Texas Hammer number? Nathan, are you serious? Oh, my God. He says that's really the number.
That's awesome.
If that is, even if you're fucking with us, I don't care. That's amazing, but I hope that that's actually true.
Oh, that's
awesome. What's the number? I can't see it. Oh, it is the 444?
He swears it. Okay, so here it is. So Nathan in the YouTube chat, the real Texas Hammer, the actual lawyer, says it's 444-4444. Right here, see? That's the real number.
That's amazing.
He swears it. Nathan, you are now my favorite person. Thank you. This is one of those small world moments for you to have such a unique and just out of the blue reference, and for someone to jump in the chat and actually give us the phone number. Thank you, Nathan.
Oh, my God.
That is unbelievable.
Well done, sir.
Well done, God. So now you're going to have to re-record the commercial at some point.
It's hey, that was good. But,
that could not have gone any better there. I'm so glad to have that information. We're not spoiling any draft picks, but we're getting the actual phone number for the Texas Hammer. 444-4444.
Call the Hammer.
How do you get a phone number like that, by the way?
I don't know, but the commercial.
And Nathan subscribing just for that. Thank you, Nathan.
the commercial.
Best moment ever.
Jenks, the commercial has to be all the different ways that you can say 4, So the Texas Hammer is out on the golf course and you're yelling 4, or you're just doing all sorts of things with the number 4.
Oh, you know what happens? You hear 4 and then you hear ow. And then the Texas Hammer turns and says, accidents happen every day. Boom. And you need to go right into it.
And I'm here for you.
Cowboy hat.
Exactly. That's what you do. If they're listening.
4. If you need a lawyer, the Texas Hammer's here. Speaking of 4, our number is 444-4444. Thank you, Nathan, for making sure we remember that number. Our friend over here on the golf course, though, doesn't remember that number. He's got a concussion, but the Texas Hammer's on it. There you go. We've just done a new commercial for the Texas Hammer.
Giving you,
it's gonna be great when he calls us one day and there's copyright infringement. He's like, "You stole my commercial." I'm like, "Oh shit, I need a lawyer." I call him up. Wait a minute, I see what you did. All right, the Oklahoma City Thunder pick is in, Peach. This is it for you. So we're gonna pray. We're gonna bestow all of the positive energy we can. So that plus 450 was plus 450, right?
It was plus 425, but I wish it was plus 4444 is what I wish it was. But we'll have to settle for the plus 425.
Oh, man. All right. Well, now we wait. Yep. And then, by the way, I just do want to point out that all the pictures that are framed have also been changed. Again, nobody talks about the people behind the scenes doing this. I would like to give a little round of applause to the people that are handling the set on this interview set at ESPN. It's well done. I'm a big fan of couch shows,
Shout out to the latest round of interns in Bristol. You've done a great job. Crushing it.
They're like, all right, Mikey, here's what your assignment's going to be. See all these pictures? Put them in frames, buddy. What is this? Where am I working here? Is it IKEA?
Mikey, get in here. 5 by 11?
What's really going to be awkward if they put up a photo that's not of the person sitting in the
There's
photo.
no way they get it 100% right. Somebody's going to screw it up somehow.
They have to. One of those baby photos, they have to.
Oh, dude. And again, like real photo services, like licensed photos that you use for a website that you subscribe to, like, whatever. I won't even name one of them, but I've used them. They get names wrong sometimes.
I think it's like an Easter egg, just like randomly, like they replaced one picture and get it wrong, and it's like Greg Oden or something. You're like, what in the...
So I'll be honest with you, that'd be a great bit, having one thing that people have to identify on this set that's out of place the entire time.
Yeah.
And then you just start posting that stuff all summer. What doesn't fit here? That's a great social idea, by the way.
Oh.
We could do that. It's perfect. All right. The pick is in. As, of course, we have to wait for the interview to be done for the pick to actually go up. Don't think for a second they don't hold these picks up for TV. This is how it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, we know this is how this stuff goes. I can tell you.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Do we like that they've broken up the draft into 2 nights instead of just doing it all in one night? Do you think that was a good decision?
I think so. Here's what I would say. The second round of the NBA draft doesn't have the same level of intrigue as the second round of the NFL draft. Just more players, like we know, longer draft, all of that. You make it feel a little more like an event as opposed to dragging out late into the night a second round where there's going to be fewer names and players that people are familiar with. Interest isn't going to be there. Maybe not as many big trades that would happen, though we haven't had any trades tonight, which is disappointing.
Nope.
I'm fine with it because you're trying to, eventize this, but I think there's always gonna be less interest. All right, here we go. All right, Peach, this is for you, buddy.
Come on.
Yes!
Laura! Let's
there
go!
You go, Peach!
Plus 425, boys.
Yes.
Sam Presti, my goat. I appreciate you. That made up for Raymond right there. Love that. Jenks, that's what we call the Oklahoma hammer right there, baby. Yes, sir.
And that number is 555-5555.
Exactly.
What's Dusty May getting mad at? Oh, I guess he's getting excited because it's tomorrow. Okay. Looked like he was mad for a second, but I guess that was a celebration. That was a weird celebration. It looked like he was like banging the table.
Maybe now because he's got to face him. Head coach of the Mavs
that
going up against Mar now. So
well, listen, Pete, he had a chance to draft him, and he didn't do it.
Made too much sense. Love that. All right, boys, it's a profitable night, regardless of what happens.
Beautiful.
So love that.
And listen, that is. I'm happy for you that went through, and now the Oklahoma City Thunder have a giant 7'4" guy that's going to be. I mean, when you think about it now, think of all the scrawny dudes that the Thunder have on their roster. I mean, they love the tall. They love the guys that look like they were supposed to be 6'7" and been stretched out over 7 feet, like a cartoon. I mean, they're just going to be the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men.
Just the perfect. I know the length that they have.
Crazy roster too.
How many guys? All right, hold on. Now I need to see the Thunder roster for sure and remember exactly where this is because I've looked this up before. The Thunder roster, in terms of height versus weight, is, I mean, it's changed a little bit, but I mean, so you've got Braden Carlson, who never played for him, but he's 7 foot 220. That's, I mean, you're skinny right there. Hartenstein's different, obviously. Chet Holmgren's 7'1", 208. And then there was, I guess it's not as bad now because they've had a couple of roster moves that were different, but they're now at least another skinny guy. Who was it that was on their roster last year? I can't remember his name. He was a European guy. I can't remember his name, but he was another real scrawny guy too, but now they've added another. So there you go. I just took us off on a tangent, but it doesn't matter because, hey, this is what we do on this show.
Well, how crazy is it that one player, when you're talking about Wemby, is having such an impact already that the Thunder are like, all right, we got a guy.
Oh, you mean like trying to take people's knees and ankles out and shit?
Well, and also, it's
do we not speak of that? Do we pretend that never happened? Okay.
Their primary rival in the West, Spurs Thunder for the next decade is going to be that way. And the Thunder, like, we can't handle this guy. We've got to get another athletic 7-footer just to be able to handle this freak down in San Antonio. It's pretty remarkable that one guy can have that effect, but that's just who Wemby is.
Michigan is now the third reigning champion to have 3 lottery picks that same draft since 1985. Is that what that said? Here we are again.
That picture.
That is great. The sunglasses with the binky.
6'5" there.
Right. He's 6'5" at 5 years old. Potentially. Of course, he'll probably be great. The Thunder and Spurs, man, it's just going to be the next decade of those two teams.
I know. That's the thing. Really, I'm obviously happy I hit my bet, but part of me is like, how do you let the Thunder get Mara? That guy was the perfect fit for them, and he just winds up right in their lap, right to him.
And they didn't have to trade up either, because for a while that was the talk, is that they were going to trade up, and they didn't even have to do it.
Wild.
I thought he might go inside the top 10. All right. Well, we know this is actually Milwaukee, not the Heat on the clock right now here. So what does Milwaukee do?
Yeah, so they went with Burries at 10. I mean, look, I would have gone with Amen at 10. So the fact that he's still there for you at 13, I think that would probably be the pick for me. And then you can get both of those guys. I think Milwaukee's got to feel pretty good about that.
Oh, Dybantsa is going to be on the set later. Awesome.
What do we think of this the suit he flew to Paris to go get? I don't know if you guys saw that in the
I did not see that.
So in his interview before the draft, he said that Dybantsa said that the suit he's wearing, he flew to Paris to get fitted for, which, I mean, listen, dude's making millions. I don't blame him one bit, but that is really caring about what you're wearing for the NBA draft. And I know it's a thing, right? Like, I could never pull off a suit like that. I wouldn't try to. I'm a simple suit guy, just keep it, but he can pull it off. I just couldn't imagine flying to Paris to go, I'm going to go get a suit in Paris.
I'd go to Joseph.
I knew it was coming. I knew that's where you
suits for $135.
Never. I think that's Burlington Coat Factory. Actually, I think you need to take that down a notch right there.
Free tailoring. Come on in. The worst. Oh my God, I forgot about this. When the Wizards got the number 1 pick in the lottery, and the worst take I heard was on X, and some guy, we went kind of back and forth, and you catch yourself, and you're like, why am I having this conversation?
It happens. We all do it.
This guy was like, oh my God, did you see his reaction? Did you see Dybantsa's reaction when he saw that he was going to have to go to Washington? He was frowning the whole time. Because of that, he's going to be a bust. I would never choose him.
That's a hell of a reach.
I was like,
that is
because
a reach.
of a facial expression that you thought he made, Washington should not draft arguably the most talented player in the draft. And finally, I was like, why are you talking to this guy? Why are you having this conversation?
There's a certain point where
right.
That's the hottest of hot takes.
Yes. I was like, this is a terrible take.
That is the clickbaitiest of all possible types of takes that you could ever have. Now, you could say his body language tells you he doesn't want to be there. That's different. Like that, I'm on board with. Body language matters. You can see this, but it's another if you're like, he's going to be a bust versus he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Guys, I love his game. He'd be a perfect fit here. Probably best player in the draft, but that facial expression, I sure didn't like the vibes I was getting from that guy. Like, come on. And the thing is, it wasn't even like rage bait. He was being serious. He was being serious. I was like, oh my God.
The world we live in.
Sir.
Peach, are you going to be excited as an Alabama alum when LeBaron Philon gets drafted?
Very much so.
Okay.
I'm a big Philon guy. I think he's going to be a heck of a player. I'm excited to see where he goes, preferably before pick 17 because we have money on that. So that would really be nice. But yeah, I think he's going to be solid. I'm excited to see kind of where a lot of these guys go here in the next 16 picks. I think this is one of those drafts like really top heavy. So many good players in the top 10, but I think also a lot of quality players at the back half of the first round as well. And a lot of players that people who watch college basketball will be familiar with. Alex Caravan, who was at UConn for a while, Zuby Ejiofor, who was at St. John's, Isaiah Evans, who went to Duke. So you got a bunch of quality players again. And I'm interested to see where the guy out of Mexico goes, Kareem Lopez, because his draft position, I think, was 14.5. And again, he's going to be the only international guy that goes in the first round, most likely. So do one of these next couple of teams take a shot on him, I think is interesting. But yeah, I mean, like you said, Nick, every year, any kind of draft, there's always a guy that falls.
Yep.
Kind of feels like Ament might be that guy. And if he doesn't go here, you wonder how much more he could slide down the board.
All right, so if he doesn't go to, well, what's eventually going to be Milwaukee, the Heat or draft. And by the way, I hate this. Like, if the trade has been agreed to.
Let's just make it the most confusing thing ever for people. That's what that is.
There you go.
Big O. I love getting Big O in 82-0 as my point guard in the 1960s. Great pickup.
Great.
Jenks,
pick.
have you been playing any of those, like the 82-0s or the NFL 20-0s or any of those?
I haven't. I've got some friends of mine that were trying to get me into it. Like last week, they were telling me about it and showing me how it worked. Like, have you been doing it?
Not as much anymore. I did it a lot when it came out. Yep. But not too much anymore.
All right, here we go.
Did go with
there.
Amen.
You go. There's Amen. Yep. Which
I thought
he will be going to Milwaukee.
10. Thought they'd take him at 10. They took him at 13. That's tough. But yeah, great pickup for the
man.
For the Bucks.
That's same guy, Peach, just the wrong position for you.
I know.
That
Brutal.
top 10. Well, he didn't fall as much as it was starting to look like. It looked like it might be one of those free falls here. So now we got the Hornets up and then the Bulls at 15 as well. Hornets were the surprise team too this year. They really started. I mean, that stretch at the end of the season for them, it kind of felt like they'd actually turned a corner for once. They're one of those, I think, teams in the East that you look at as like, okay, they're on that rise. They're a maybe cusp of like that fringe play-in versus just playoffs next year for the Hornets if they can kind of continue that momentum from what they had last season.
And can the Heat, after the Giannis trade, are they really going to be a legit contender in the East?
I mean, the East, here's the thing about the East.
Maybe, but they feel like a second tier, like...
You're not wrong. That's the thing is like, but it's Pat Riley in Miami, and they've been barely a play-in team for the last few years. So it's like, if you're the Heat, once Jimmy Butler was gone, and even then with Jimmy Butler, it's not like, they made the finals at 1 year as an 8 seed. And I know they've had their runs in the playoffs as lower seeds, but the Heat haven't really been the Heat for the last decade. I mean, LeBron left and went back to Cleveland in 2014. And it's been a rough stretch for they've been just kind of mediocre ever since. So this was Pat Riley saying, no, go get us somebody. Go get us a star. We need that splash. And he's willing to do it. And he's done it a lot over his career with, Shaq and obviously LeBron and the big three they had. And then Jimmy Butler is not on that level, but I mean, he's still up there. But it's, the Heat. I mean, Giannis last year was like 30-11. Like this guy's going to get, he stays healthy. He's still going to be one of the best players in the NBA. It's just, you gutted that roster. What do you do after that? Which is another problem with these trades is, when you're gutting your roster then to bring a star in, you, on the other hand, have to then fill out the rest of that roster, and it gets more expensive and a lot harder to do.
Yeah, and they've been through this before. I mean, you were mentioning when the three of Bosh, Wade, and LeBron all teamed up. I think that team had only like 2 players under contract or something like that. So it was just like, let's get those 3 together and then we'll fill in the roster around them. And it feels like this is the same kind of thing where let's get Giannis, let's keep Bam, and then let's just fill in the pieces around that. We know we'll get veteran players that'll want to come play with them and we'll just figure it out. They still have one of the best coaches in the NBA and Eric Spoelstra. I'm with Jenks. It feels like they're still on that tier too. I kind of think the Knicks are on their own tier, to be honest with you. And then I think tier 2 is like Boston, Indiana, and then like
Detroit,
maybe Miami, Detroit, maybe Orlando. It's like maybe there's a mesh of like 2-3 there. But yeah, everybody obviously gunning for the Knicks after, they just ran through the East. They won the title. But Jenks, I'm with you. I think Miami right now is like a 6 or 7 seed would be my guess.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't hate the trade, and I understand because you knew Pat Riley was going to do something, right? Like, he even said as much. Like, we're going to do something here because he still believes in what he can do, and he's a living legend. But like you were saying, they've got to have some sort of help just besides Bam and Giannis. So the question is, who else can they bring into comp? And they have Norman Powell as well. I think is a pretty good player. Like, I think he was a nice piece as well. Like, very good. Like, he was really good with the Clippers as well. But they've got to have some complementary pieces if they really want to elevate themselves to where I know Riley wants them to go.
I still can't believe we got the Texas Hammers phone number. Like, I'm still thinking about that, right? Like, I'm still stunned that we had somebody that knew the number and knew who we were talking about in Texas. That's my favorite moment of the night. We haven't had any trades yet. Maybe your Lisa Salters story would be number 2. But like, the fact that somebody knew who we were talking about, this random lawyer in Texas, and gave us the phone number, like, I'm so excited about that. It just made me so happy, guys. And there's no reason to. It was just an amazing coincidence, and I'm just so happy that Nathan jumped in the chat to tell us that. That was one of the best moments that I've ever experienced. And then, we redid the commercial, and it was perfect. Which is the exact direction we want to go. Pete, you have no more bets, right?
Yeah, no more bets. So I think after Charlotte picks here at the lottery, I'm gonna head out and watch the rest of the draft.
No more sweats for you, huh? No more sweats for you. Your sticks for the lottery, and then he says, "I'm done, bitches."
I'm deuces. I hit my Mara, and now we're chilling. So we're feeling good.
Which is good, because as it goes on, Jenks and I are going to get, we're going to get off the rails anyway. We haven't been able to do a show together in a while, so like this is just going to get to a point where, and again, this show, I think we know, this isn't about breaking down all these picks. You have that for ESPN. I'm going to get back on that hoop real quick.
I was going to say, I feel like, picks 15 through 30, you work on the jump shot a little bit.
I need another light on it, but I gotta make sure that I'm in the shot here. So like, this is the one issue, is it's over here, but it's like the tiniest hoop in the world. And then if I want it, like, you gotta see, if this ball's flat, it's a challenge. At some point, Jenks, you're doing this, buddy.
Oh, I'm gonna do it.
You're getting on this thing. It's really, it is.
That ball isn't great.
No, this is not a real basketball, like, at all.
If AJ Dybantsa shoots the ball like Nick does, I'm not going to be happy. I can tell you that much.
We're in trouble. The thing is, though, like, this is, I always wonder what, like, somebody whose hands are so big, like a Kawhi Leonard, who just has monster hands and has a monster. Never mind. Like, how do you shoot? You know what I was going to be. See, I got Peach to laugh. That was good. Like, squeezing a basketball, and you just think of, like, how do you? That's just why big guys struggle at the free throw line, I think, because their hands are just so damn big. And I just also want to say this. Mitchell Robinson, if I can plead to Mitchell Robinson here real quick, because I can see he's a bigger guy, basketball. He can't shoot free throws. Can we make granny style cool again? Like, can we just make it a thing? Can we just get to the point where, like, we accept it and we don't shame granny style anymore? It'd make things a lot better. All right, here's pick 14. I hate, we know that. I hate when they announce the trade after it. Like, we know the trade already happened, but whatever. All right, here we go. I thought the Hornets made a trade. All right. Hornets select.
Washington? Yeah.
All right, there's your first kind of mini surprise of the night. I mean, I think people kind of saw him maybe going around this range, but just very much a Hornets pick. It's like, let's all these big names in college basketball this year, and let's take this kid out of Washington that probably 2% of people have heard of. But maybe
notice how
Steinbach.
Did you hear how Adam Silver said it? Yeah, Steinbach. I mean, he gave it the full accent. All right, before you go, Peach, I got to make a shot. All right,
go ahead.
Peach,
I might be
go ahead and. No, I was gonna say you might want to.
We got this, okay?
Kick the feet up a little bit.
Peach, it says swoosh, not even swish on this cheap basketball hoop. This is special, okay? It says swoosh.
Yeah. Oh, wow, look at that.
There you go,
well done.
Peach.
Well done.
Well done. Boys, a lot of fun. Enjoy the rest of the draft.
We'll be here.
See you, brother.
Be well. See you guys.
We'll be on in a little bit. We'll have Martino with us for the Celtics pick. Get a little insight of what the Celtics might do as well now that Jaylen Brown knows. Oh, I thought so too. This thing is, I mean, it's goofy. Feel that thing. I mean, what are we doing? All right, it's you and me, buddy. This is gonna get weird now. Because here's the thing: the big now we're just waiting for trades.
Yeah,
you know that's what I'm really hoping for. We've not had any trades, and I talked a lot about this on air, and I'm sad because I really thought we'd have more trades, and I hyped the trades up.
It's kind of been uneventful.
It has been a very uneventful draft,
Yeah,
and this is concerning because I'm not happy about this.
The highlight was actually you just hitting that bank shot. For being honest.
Honestly, the only way you make it on this piece of shit hoop back there is if it's actually a bank shot. I need to get an actual light on it so you can see what this thing looks like. I'll probably have to post a picture of it or something. It is just like wobbly rim. You know those like a rim that if it's like a basketball court that no one's been on in forever, and you're just like boing, boing, boing. I think we can put the draft board up. I might just do that now. We won't have Martino for a while. Martino will be on closer to that. We've got a minute. Yeah. Let's see where we're sitting. Oh, no, it's a separate tab. I don't feel like doing all this right now. It's fine.
What happened to that woman's left hand? It's all wrapped up.
I don't know. Oh, she got an injury. See, you start noticing the little details, right? Like as things go. I'll bring the board up here for a little bit. We'll bring up the draft board here because kind of where we sit at this point. Some people are coming on and like, hey, where is the draft? And I'm like, listen, this happened. We did the lottery show and people are like, it hadn't even started yet. They're like, where are the picks? And I'm like, it hasn't even started yet. The whole point is you're hanging out with us. All right. All right. So now we sit here with the Bulls on the clock, and it would be really nice if I could get this up. James, tell us a story real quick. We got a lull here as they're interviewing Steinbach.
I'll tell you a Trae Young story.
I would love a Trae Young story.
So back when I was doing a radio show not that long ago. This is probably about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And I was criticizing Trae Young. And I was basically giving what is a fairly common criticism. This is clearly before he came to Washington.
Oh, I know the story. I forgot about this.
And I was like, look, you want to fade somebody tonight, fade Trae Young, something to that effect. We know what's going to happen, right? He's going to go like 9 of 10 in the first half. And he's going to go like 0 of 11 in the second half. And just go like ice cold, right? He always does this. That's his game, and he's not going to play any defense.
Right.
And so we put this video out, and the next morning, even though he doesn't follow us, doesn't follow me, guess who had liked that tweet?
Oh, yeah. So are you saying that there's a chance that he might have been?
I think he was doing what a lot of athletes do, which is let me just search for my.
I hate the way this looks. I'm not doing this. Okay. Sorry for people asking for where the board is. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. We are your second screen, and we're the ones that are here that are going to tell you stories. You're not getting these stories about Trae Young, who, I mean, was clearly searching his name or however he saw the tweet.
He had no idea who we were, so I'm not trying to imply that. But he clearly was just like searching for his name, and it popped up, and he just was like, oh. The fact he didn't say anything, he just liked it. It was almost just like, hey, I just want you guys to know.
Just want you to know that I acknowledge this.
But the amazing thing is that night, he had almost that exact kind of game. It was red hot and then just like nothing burger in the second half.
So here's the thing about Trae Young and this deal. Trae Young at like peak Trae Young going off for 40 is a lot of fun. And he can be a bucket. It's just that the next night he'll go 3 of 15 with 8 turnovers. And you know he's not going to play any defense. And then you're left wondering why you're paying him $212 million. Like, here's the issue with where the Wizards are. And there's a lot of one or the other with the Trae Young deal, right? It's either this is a horrible deal, or it's I love this, he's going to be so exciting. The people that are just I love this is so exciting, that's just surface level, tip of the iceberg. You're not paying attention to the full picture. Right. But the other side of this is just horrible. Oh my God, it's the worst deal ever. There's actually a middle ground here. And I'm not the sit on the fence guy, and I'm not sitting on the fence with this, but what I will tell you is that if you were the Wizards, the best situation for them, and this is what I was just begging for, was him opting in. So you had a season with him under contract.
Right.
So it really would have been half a season up until the deadline. And you could say, all right, let's try and figure out what he looks like with this team. Let's see what he's like actually out there and healthy when we're trying to win games and we're not trying to get the number 1 overall pick. Then you can decide maybe you trade him at the deadline, or maybe it's, in the offseason, or you're talking deal and you've got like a level of assessment. The fact that he opted out and it was clear there were other options They may not have been good teams making those
Right.
decisions, but the 4 years for 212 is the exact number you would have gotten had he signed somewhere else. The Wizards could have signed him for more. They had his bird rights, but that didn't happen, and that's at least they didn't pay him the 287 or whatever it was.
God.
But it's clear that there were other options, and they said, what if we pay you as much as that? And he's like, yeah, I'll be a good teammate, and I'll take a little less money. But he's getting $212 million. But now they had to commit a 4-year deal or he walks for nothing. And even though they didn't give up a ton for him, they still gave up enough where it's like if he walks for absolutely no reason, it's not like he was a rental like you have in baseball, right? Where you get a guy at the deadline, you need an extra starter for a World Series run. And it's like, okay, then we'll deal with the contract in the offseason and maybe it works. No, for this was like, then you're barely playing him and you gave up assets and got nothing in return. So they had to sign him and then you deal with it later where maybe if he does play well, let's say he has a great first season in Washington.
Right.
And maybe you consider moving him that offseason because his stock is high. And if you have to find a team that's willing to take on that contract. But if he looks like a guy that's like in a new place and he's happy and, the Wizards kind of play it as like, we just want to go with our younger guys and that's all that it is. You might be able to work that out. I know I'm threading the needle with this, but in reality, like they couldn't let him walk. They couldn't let him walk. I hate the contract, but I understand why the Wizards were in the position that they were in because you made that trade, whether it was assuming he was going to opt in or you're like, we'd be willing to give him this deal. It would have been a lot better had they had one more season or half a season again to then go say, okay, let's see what he actually looks like with this team.
Well, I think my problem is, and I have to set this aside because I frankly just don't like his game.
I'm with you. I'm not a fan of it either.
Look, he is a bucket, like you were saying. Abs when he gets going and he's firing from long range and he's hitting, and we saw a little bit of that last year, right? Like not much. We got a taste of that last year. He was in DC a few times when he hit from long range. It was like, man, this guy's so much fun to watch. And when he's on, he is fun to watch. But he's absolutely a defensive liability. He's a streak shooter. And one of the reasons why the Hawks were willing to trade him is because once he was out of the lineup, Dalen Swain out of Texas.
Look at that.
There we go.
There you go. You got your Longhorn.
All right, there we go. Chicago.
Do you need to do a hook 'em real quick? Is it like natural?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Does it just happen? Like when you see something with Texas, do you just have this, like, does your hand just slowly creep up and just,
you know what I like doing? This is like really underrated. It's like if Texas just like barely gets a first down and you're watching, the game with someone and on the other side, you're like, man, he got it by like, I don't know, like just that much, that close. And just like, don't do that. It's terrible. Don't do that. But it's, in DC, there's a ton of Texas X's in DC. So walk down the street out here like, hook them all the time.
Just randomly.
Yeah, randomly. Like I have a Texas hat on or shirt. Like, hook them. They're everywhere.
Well, DC is a transient city. You got people from all over the place.
Well,
so that
and
would
also
make sense.
in Austin, which is the capital of Texas, you have a lot of people studying politics.
Well,
coming here to DC,
that's true.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, I love Austin. Austin's a great city, man.
Absolutely.
It's where I had my bachelor party.
Oh, really? It
was awesome. Let me tell you what, Torchy's Tacos.
Yes.
Woo! That brisket taco is incredible. Obviously, all the barbecue down there is great, and all the meat down there is great. But yes, that was one of the first places we went. A little Torchy's Tacos truck.
Torchy's is great.
Oh man, so good. Yeah, that's one of my favorite cities. Although I really have been, I can't think of very many cities that I've traveled to where I've just been like, I'm the type of person though that like I travel somewhere, I'd be a terrible like travel reviewer because I try to just find like the good thing in whatever a city actually is. So I'd probably be really bad at it, but I really do like Austin. It's a great one. And by the way, you got an explosive athlete going to the Bulls there. How about that?
He needs to work on the outside shot, but man, you talk about a guy that's going to get to the rack on a regular basis. That's the dude. Like they'll just, how many times would they just clear it out and let him drive inside and see what he could do?
I'm still just picturing you, hook him walking down the street. Like
it's a good feeling.
Between that and the Texas Hammer, I mean,
I'm telling you,
been a lot of Texas in this. It's just it's come out of nowhere. Bulls have been sitting in a position for. I mean, it feels like I'm trying to think of the last time. The last time the Bulls were relevant, there was a short. We got AJ Dybantsa on set. There he is, the number 1 overall pick. Yeah, man. Do you think you could pull off that suit that he's got there?
100% no.
No, I don't think so. Close. There's like it's got like flowers embroidered on it.
It's got a pin.
He said he went to Paris to get it, which I guess
I believe it.
I mean, it looks very fancy. And it was something, I think there's no buttons. He said something about it's only like bows or ties or something on it.
Like ties on the inside.
I have no idea.
Something very Parisian.
I mean,
that would be.
I mean, it's got like the embroidered up there. There's no. You always see the crazy ass outfits, the stuff that you go, I could never pull it off. Like, I wish I could pull off a flat brim hat. I can't do it.
You can barely pull off a hat.
You could pull off a hat. I feel like you could have a
much less a flat brimmed hat.
I can't do it.
I can't.
I've tried. Wife's like, nope, doesn't work for you. Here's the thing, and I know you can get them reshaped. The best hats are the ones that are flat. The best hats, all the coolest looking ones, all the best designs, they're all flat. And I know, again, you can shape it. I've gotten that one. I have a Commander's hat that I did. But like, man, I just want to have one that like would look good on me, and I can't do it. I can't do it.
Oh man, when we were at my honeymoon, in my honeymoon,
at your honeymoon, on your honeymoon would be the proper phrasing.
Pam.
Hello, Miss Lady. Think I can help with this Pan dilemma? Don't get me started on that. Anytime someone's named Pam, I make that joke.
Oh, yes.
My wife's heard it enough. She's like, I'm sick of it. I'm like, listen, I can't
2 years ago, we're in St. Martin, and there's this bar that is floating in the middle of the ocean, right?
Big fan of St. Martin, by the way.
God.
Great place.
It's the best.
Yeah.
So I got this hat at Battle is what it's called. And I got this hat, love this hat, wear it in St. Martin, lost it.
Oh,
I lost it. And so I look online, you can't buy it. And so we go back this year for our honeymoon.
Okay.
And I told Catherine, I'm like, I know I'm that guy. I got to get this hat.
You got to get the hat.
We go back out to the bar, middle of the Caribbean. They have the display of all the merch. It's gone. Like they have a different type now, but it's not the same. And so I'm like, all right, well, that's a bummer, but I guess I'll get this one, but it's not the original.
You never got the original.
However, he reaches, let me get this hat. He reaches up to a bin above like some sort of freezer, opens it up.
Freezer.
And the first one he pulls,
why is there a freezer in a hat store?
I'm telling you. Well, they have a bar.
Okay.
They keep all the drinks in the middle of the ocean. You're floating.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess so. It's the hats are part of the. Okay, I got you. All right.
He reaches in.
I was too busy looking at
and grabs a couple pieces of merch that aren't on display that are left over from the previous set. And he pulls out the exact, and he goes, "What about?" I go, "That one,
that one right there.
One.
That's it. That's the hat."
And Catherine was like, "Unbelievable." Well,
so they're having AJ Dybantsa sign a card now. What do you think that's worth? It's a rookie card when he's drafted, the first one he signed allegedly. Wonder what that would auction off for. $500,000?
It's got to be a lot, right?
I mean, you want to obviously it'll be a lot more if he actually has a great career and you wait till later.
Get it now.
Right, that's the thing. If you believe, then it's like buy low, sell high is what it would be. The trading card game, do you still, like, as a kid, did you collect?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay.
I have an awesome. So I have a Michael Jordan rookie card.
All right.
That is worth a few thousand. Got really lucky back then. I actually just pulled that from a
good for
random,
it might be worth more than a couple thousand, man. You may want to reassess that.
Yeah, it's
like it's a Jordan rookie card.
Yes.
I think you're probably looking
it's
at
like
more
graded. It's like a 7 as opposed to a 10.
Okay.
So
okay.
But I do have. So I have 2 second-year Jordan cards.
All right.
So when I was a kid, I took that second card.
All right.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to send this to Michael Jordan to get autographed. So I sent it to the old Chicago Stadium, right? And I put it in a self-addressed stamp.
How old were you when you did this?
I was in like 8th grade.
Okay.
Oh, Memphis with a pick.
All right. Bennett Sturts.
Don't care.
Now we're starting to get into the guys. It's like, okay, where's Kareem Lopez? I want to know where Kareem Lopez is going to go because I feel like Kareem Lopez is one of those guys that's going to get slept on in this draft and have a really good career. But Bennett Sturts goes to the Grizzlies. They're taking the guard out of Iowa, number 16. I do need to hear the rest of this Jordan card story because you actually left on a very good cliffhanger.
Oh, so I have 2 cards. I'm like, I sent it to Chicago Stadium before they moved to New United Center.
Okay.
And I just, Michael Jordan, Chicago Stadium, Chicago, Illinois. And I put inside self-addressed stamped envelope. And I wrote him a letter. I was like, if you would just sign this, you're my favorite player. And put it back in the envelope and send it to me. I'd be so grateful. You're the best. I mean, it was MJ crazy.
You did all the things a kid would do. I love you, MJ.
I remember I wrote it in red ink because the Bulls were red.
I'm going to do it, and maybe it'll convince him to sign it.
But 6 months later, I get an envelope in the mail, and I had forgotten, and I recognized the handwriting. I'm like, this looks like my handwriting. And I open it up, and undamaged is a signed Michael Jordan second-year card.
Wow.
And it's like one of my prized possessions because it was, I mean, I didn't go to an autograph show.
No.
It was like, and it's his real signature. It's, man.
Also, too, like the fact that it was that long to get it back, but you got it back is actually pretty cool. By the way, real quick, Bennett Sturts just looks like a kid from Iowa. Like just looking at him, like I know you watch him play, but you look at him, he just has that. He just looks like an Iowa kid, sure man.
Close cut, good shooter, good
yep.
kid.
There
good
you go.
Kid.
Just fundamentally sound guy. You know, look at the. You know, it's just you see him and it's like that. Yeah, that just simple haircut, just focused on his game.
Selfless.
Anyway, it was strictly based on that. There's a lot of random observations that are going to happen here. 6 months.
Yeah,
and you got the card autographed.
I sure did.
That's actually pretty cool.
It's crazy.
And you're sure that it's his signature and not?
It is. I have looked
not
at
an
it.
Intern that did it.
That's always everyone was like, well, you know, I'm like, I know it could be, but if you look at the actual signature, like it's unless someone was mimicking it perfectly, like it's him.
So, by the way, this also looks like is going to be. So Sturts actually looks like he's going to get traded to Oklahoma City with that. Okay.
Oh, okay.
They do like to collect picks because they just have an endless amount of first-round picks.
Like Presti is just unbelievable.
Best GM in sports, man. Like in sports. Because what they're able to do in Oklahoma City, to build a team the way that he's built it, knowing that like it's not a free agent destination. They don't have this massive budget. They can't go into the, second apron's a restriction and luxury tax and all this, although their roster is getting expensive now to a point. But all these guys are drafted and developed, and then they've got more options down the road with other first-round picks. I'm so envious of Oklahoma City Thunder fans and the team that has been built there, because it's not just for now, it's built for the long term too. Incredible front office, scouting department, and guys that like contribute, like Lou Dort. Nobody knew who Lou Dort was, and they've turned him into this just defensive monster that, 3-and-D guy, but like it's not always like stars. But even SGA was good with the Clippers, but I think most people would have been like that. If you said he's going to be a two-time MVP, people have been like, that might be a little bit of a stretch. But then again, most of them we can't predict anyway. But they see talent in these players that so many other teams and front offices and scouts and coaches and all that just don't see. And it's incredible how they've built that team.
No, even if it's bringing in Caruso when they did, or Hart and stuff, like guys that are perfect complements to the stars that they do have. Like he does a great job of fulfilling weaknesses, very specific weaknesses on the roster.
Yes.
And while maintaining draft capital, like, they're just going to be good for a long time, which is why this sort of chess game that they're playing right now with Wemby and San Antonio is going to be fascinating.
So the Thunder Grizzlies trade. So the number 16 pick, Bennett Sturts, is going to the Thunder for 2 second-round picks. So the Thunder back-to-back picks now, unless they trade this one away. There were rumors for a while they wanted to package 17 and 12 and move up. They got who they wanted with Ademara earlier, and then they get Bennett Sturts out of Iowa, the guard, who's now going to be traded. Remember, they traded that pick there. So now they're on the clock again with 17. It's just, so here's the one thing that's great though, too, for them and the way you're doing this is like hold on. Trade alert. Okay. So the Grizzlies are going to get the 17th pick and 2 second-round picks, and the Thunder get Bennett Sturts with that 16th pick. So basically the Thunder traded up one spot to get Bennett Sturts. Right. So that means he's going to be an MVP one day because the Thunder drafted him. He's future MVP, I guess. LeBaron Philon's still on the board. PJ is going to be upset. I know he had to jump off, but he's going to be mad still seeing him sit there. So you want to give our live stream another retweet? Why don't you do that?
Yeah.
Undo it and redo it. Keep people going. The numbers are stacking. X is a great place to live stream with people because everybody just sees it and you can just, I think that's my favorite place to just live stream stuff. Honestly, is X. I know YouTube. Everybody goes to YouTube and all that, but we're live on X. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch. We're everywhere. Everywhere. As we're getting into the nitty gritty of this now, I just want bigger trade. I was hoping that we might see like a Ja Morant trade tonight or something.
Or I thought maybe AD might be a possibility. I thought Ja might be a possibility. You hear that Jaylen Brown is sort of being dangled out there by the Celtics, which is kind of fascinating.
So we'll have Martino Puccio on in a little while, kind of give us a little bit more in terms of what's going on there with the Celtics too.
Is he a Boston guy?
He's a Boston guy, but he is in New York, which is funny. Also covers the World Cup for us. He's multifaceted though.
Yes.
But does a lot of World Cup coverage for us here at GameDay Garage. But it's if you're the Celtics, like you can't bring Jaylen Brown back after knowing he was dangled in a trade and he didn't want to go to Milwaukee. The minute a star is in, like if it's a trade request, it's one thing. When it's not a trade request and that guy is dangled around in trades, it's hard to mend that relationship, man. It really is. And I think it's going to be real tough for the Celtics because he's also like, he's going to tell you how he feels. And like, he's not just going to say, oh, well, no, he's going to be like, I don't like, he'll be the guy that'll say, I don't want to be here anymore if that's the case. I think that's going to be one of the bigger stories to follow this summer in the NBA is Jaylen Brown and the Celtics and where they are. Yeah, where is he?
Where in the hell?
He's taking way too long. Way too long here. I don't need to go back on that basketball hoop again, but I will if I have to. So the Grizzlies, again, that trade now recapped. The Grizzlies get the number 17 pick and 2 second-rounders from the Thunder. Thunder get the 16th pick, and Bennett Sturtz is who they drafted.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's 3-2-1 until Jaylen Brown starts speaking out and complaining how if he's not wanted, he'll go where he wants to go and where he's appreciated.
He live streams too, so he's got a whole bunch of chances to just say how he feels. Jaylen Brown will be the one that, yeah. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Thunder, which is actually a pick for the Grizzlies now at this point. Oh, that's right. The guy out of Stanford.
Okay. I'm not going to pretend I have I have no idea. Don't know. Was not on my radar.
I'm just still waiting for the Ja Morant trade. That's really what it, I mean, like, at some point, that's going to probably happen. The Grizzlies have a lot of stuff they've got to work on.
Yeah. If you're
so he was going to go to Harvard first. I didn't know that.
Switching to Stanford.
Well, so he's a really smart guy. That's very clear. Smart. Stanford, Harvard, both really good schools. Yeah, this guy's probably gonna be one of those. You know, it's the guy that's so you think you're too smart to play in the NBA.
Yeah,
you're too smart. Like there's so many other things you could do, but then you just pile up that money, start a business, and just turn.
Like if it doesn't work out, he's gonna be that guy that has like his PhD and invents something and is a millionaire in another field.
Also, I can't get over the seeing Stanford and ACC because Ibuka Okoro was the first team All ACC. I know you're obviously a big college guy. College sports now, I mean, it's obviously it's football first, and then it's basketball and the trickle-down effect. And I know we're going to have a super conference at some point in college football, which will then affect college basketball. But seeing this where it's like Stanford and the ACC, and I know some of this is just we've got to figure out where we're going to go.
Right.
I hate seeing what's happened to college sports with this realignment. It's broken. Some of them make sense. Some of the realignment makes sense and where some of these schools are going. But Stanford and the ACC,
I still screw it up.
Oh my God, yes.
All the time. All the time. I'll be talking about football on some show and I'll be like, Michael, you got to get it through your head. Cal, these teams play in the ACC. Saying that just doesn't sound right. A buddy of mine sent me a picture. He lives in Atlanta, and it was a picture of representing Cal, like promoting the University of California, Berkeley, being a part of the ACC, which is just crazy to think about. But that's, they're trying to expand the brand, not a strong sports brand to begin with. And I can't get it through my head.
Well, what we're going to have is a super conference in college sports with relegation. Now, I'm a big fan of relegation. I think we should have relegation in all sports. Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me? I think it'd be great.
Interesting. I haven't thought a lot about it.
I would love relegation. I think it'd be so much fun to just watch team. Well, one, you want to talk about eliminating tanking. That's one thing you're going to do. It's like, do you want to drop down to a lower tier? And you start with that.
Yeah.
That's going to change things a lot. You obviously have to kind of flip, maybe the draft odds are all evened out, or you'd have to, the NBA will change it. The NBA probably will add relegation at some point because Adam Silver loves, Premier League soccer. That's where the NBA Cup came from. So now you have a level of, relegation with this new lottery system that they're going to have where the bottom 3 teams have worse odds than the teams above them. Right. So it's like mini relegation, but I'm all for just full on relegation. You couldn't do it in the NFL because you don't have another league unless it's the UFL, but they'd have to play at the same time.
Yeah.
The NBA, you just send them down to the G League, I just send the really bad teams down to the G League. I'd be all for that. Grizzlies, you're in the G League now.
Permanently.
Yeah, you just stay there at this point. We'll never see it, but I think college sports will have that. Again, it's when I say that, it's college football and then college basketball deals with it, and then I don't know whether the realignment goes to swimming and other sports. Yeah. Probably not, but
I mean, they're already tinkering with Like, I love the college football playoff, but they're already tinkering with, hey, maybe we go to 24.
Oh, you knew, but come on, you knew that was going to happen.
Yeah,
you knew that was going to be the case.
There's always that small flicker in me, like maybe they won't chase all the money and they'll keep it pure. And keep it
maybe the sport will still be pure.
And I realize I'm such an idiot. I'm forced to do that. Like, it's just a matter of working out the terms, working out the television contracts, and distributing the money. Of course, it's gonna happen.
It's, I mean, I could see it as like you've got like, even if they started off with college football is, I don't know, let's say 38 teams in a super conference. And then you have other teams that are kind of fighting to get in there. And there's a certain, because here's the thing too, TV contracts will be more lucrative for just that one super conference.
Right.
So what you're going to have is the schools that are going to draw the most eyeballs that are also going to be involved with it. Like, how do you create this super conference? And then how on top of it do you add the schools that you think are, and then there's some programs, like some schools, Texas will make sense in basketball and football. It's just both. Like, there's certain schools that'll work for, but there's others where, okay, football looks one way, but what does then basketball look like? Do they match that? Do they have it look totally different? And I think that's what it'll probably end up being, is it's football and then maybe some other schools jump conferences in basketball, and it's just all over the place where the conferences mean very, very little.
No.
And that's, and the NCAA has no rules anymore, and it's basically just almost minor league football.
I mean, it's close to that already.
It kind of is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a long commercials.
This is
really, what's shipped? This is a new one now.
Ship kits?
Is it just another?
Ship kits.
I guess it's just another food delivery thing. So we got that.
All right. Very good. Are you gonna watch the second round of the draft?
I mean, that's tomorrow. I'll watch it, but
yeah,
we ain't streaming for that. I'll tell you that right now. I was hoping for some more trades, damn it. Maybe some more stories. You got any more Jordan stories?
Jordan stories? Nah, that's my best Jordan story. That's a pretty good one, though. That's a pretty good one. We're talking about the Spurs. One time when I was covering the Spurs back in the day, I covered the Spurs.
Oh my God, that's the biggest fucking spider I've ever seen crawling into the garage. That is, I'm gonna take a picture of this shit. Oh my, this is going on camera.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. It's not a good picture. Oh my God, that thing is huge.
Australia?
Where are we? What is this thing? This is the best I can do for you guys right now. That is what I'm looking at.
Jesus. That's terrifying,
Holy Nick. Shit, that's a big spider. I guess I have to kill it, right? I was on radio the other day, and it was just, there was one crawling on the ceiling in the studio upstairs. I mean,
that's kind of terrifying.
I got to be honest with you. I am terrified by this spider, and I know he's scared of me. That's one of the biggest spiders. Here's another picture. That is a terrifying spider that is on my garage floor right now. Jenks, I'm going to go. Hold on. Let's see who the 18th pick is with the Hornets, and I got to go kill this spider. Christian Anderson goes 18th. There you go. All right. So the guard out of Texas Tech, Christian Anderson. I got to go kill this spider. I'll be right here.
All right.
Oh my God, it's huge.
No.
Oh, it's so scary for me. It might be tangled in another spider web. Dude, this is the biggest fucking
I
spider
hope
I've
you kill
ever
that.
seen.
If that comes over here,
Like,
I'm squealing.
I think it's just an innocent big dope.
All
I don't
right.
want that in my house. Jenks,
Yeah.
you're on. Buddy.
All right.
Hold on.
I'll tell you a quick story. Here's a Spurs story.
This?
Yes.
Should I kill it with this? The GameDay Garage hammer? Oh. Here.
That'll do it.
We're going to need a video.
All right. Let's get it. All right. Here we go.
Social will be happy. I'm
All
on
right,
the
you're
hunt
on.
for a spider. It's the biggest spider I've ever seen. Oh, my God. Sorry. Oh, it's huge. Oh.
Ugh.
Okay.
Wow. Well,
Spider's dead.
there it is, folks.
GameDay Garage hammer strikes again. Oh my God. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep this over here.
If you came here, come for the draft, but stay for the spider death.
Okay. All right. If any more spiders show up on the live stream, the Titan.
I hope you have a tool strong enough to kill that spider.
Job. Is there spider guts on here?
I'm surprised there is not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that just happened. Oh man. All right. Well, that's the biggest spider I've ever seen. That was like we were in Australia.
Oh my God.
I'm disgusted by that. I'm already getting a text that that's going to be social. Okay. Oh boy.
Killer instinct. No hesitation, Nick. Just bam. Had to be done.
That was.
I'm trying to think of the last time I had to kill a spider or a significant insect. I don't know. I think it's been.
I was told to disinfect the hammer. That is the.
Yeah, you might want to do that.
That
well done, sir.
I don't know what that was. I'm going to run that through AI. And you know what? Let's find out what it was. All right, let's find out what that was. We have a little time. So the spider that I just put up on the screen here. What can I help you with, Nick? Well, I can tell you what you're going to help me with. You're going to tell me.
That bad boy.
Let's find out what this is. Let's find out. Ready? What kind of spider is this in the photo?
The Australian brokeback.
Well, and listen to your voice, and now it says that.
Sorry.
You're ruining everything. Very much like a wolf spider. Aren't those actually like not harmful? Wolf spiders versus grass spiders.
All right.
Look incredibly similar at a glance. Grass spiders usually have prominent visible spiderettes sticking out. I don't know, just the Australian brokeback. While that name sounds like a legendary creature from the outback, there actually isn't a species known as the Australian brokeback. Well, you're confusing AI now, you jackass.
Sorry.
I'm trying to learn about nature. This is the one problem with having the garage open. It's a great night. The garage door is open. I mean, it's cool. It's comfortable, but we have had the murder hornets come in this garage. You remember that. You weren't here for that, but you've seen the video of it.
Yes, I
have. There was about 8 or 9 flying around in here at one point, and now we've had a wolf spider or a grass spider. Excellent for pest control, I get it. They aren't aggressive toward humans or pets, though it will bite if squeezed or stepped on, resulting in mild bee sting-like in reaction. Well, sorry, I killed it. It was too big. It's just not happening. I get it. I get it. It's going to help with the bugs. We have bugs around here, and I'm, I know spiders are actually gentle creatures as long as they're not like a brown recluse or a, black widow. But here's the thing.
Never sat next to him.
I don't care. I am a murderer. I killed a spider. Don't tell PETA. I mean, I can't help it, man. That thing was that was that was a huge spider. I mean, it looked like what you'd see. You're right, in Australia. Yeah. Let me tell you something, by the way. So then we got a lull here before the Raptors pick comes in at 19. I am absolutely just in love with all of the fans that are enjoying the U.S. and talking about all the things they see here, like the Australians that are down in Florida talking about how great the beaches are. And all I can think of is, and there's not going to be as much shit that's going to kill you here like there. It is every day I feel like I see something. Meanwhile, in Australia, and it's a spider the size of your head, and it's just like hanging in the corner of someone's house. No. I mean, Australia looks awesome, but I don't want anything to do with that stuff.
Well, it's just like, and that's just part of their existence. Like to us, it's like, oh my God. They're like, oh yeah. I can't do an Australian accent. I'm terrible.
I'm not good at it either. It's like, it just goes British.
I was do one. I was like, don't even try.
You should try it. It's okay if you do. You're going to try it. I can tell.
No, I can't. I can't. So one thing I cannot do, I can mimic inflections of different people from different areas maybe.
All right.
Man, doing different accents, I can't do it.
It's just not going to work for you.
I'm awful at it. I'll try in front of Catherine from time to time. She's like, oh, honey. She's actually very good at it, but I'm terrible.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. She's excellent at that.
Should have her come on and do an Australian accent.
I'll have her come tonight.
Talk about the murder hornets and the wolf spider that I killed. I'm sorry that I killed a spider, but I got to be honest with you. It's just too big and scary. And it looked kind of scared. I feel a little guilty because now they're like, oh, they get bugs, but it'll bite it if you step on it. Well, here's the thing. I like to walk around barefoot a lot around my yard. And I really don't want to step on a spider that's going to bite me, even a wolf spider. It just doesn't do it for me. So that happens. I'm going to actually, you know what I need to do is probably delete that picture from my phone because I'm going to start scrolling through pictures and I'm going to see that giant spider. Oh, I mean, it was right there.
Jesus out of you.
I mean, it just crawled right up underneath, right on a cord right there. We've got all these cords here for this set. And I just see this like that. I mean, just right there. All right, 19th pick. Let's focus on the Raptors as opposed to the wolf spider. Alan Graves goes. There we go. Out of Santa Clara. I always love this. I mean, Santa Clara is for a smaller school, they send a lot of guys to the NBA.
They really do.
Go back to Steve Nash days, and
say,
may not be.
Right?
I'm trying to think of other ones. Steve Nash is the biggest one. I'm going to sit here. I'm like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of names, and then like my name farts right at the moment. Well, listen, I mean, Steve Nash is the dude that you think of first. I mean, he's the best to come out of there. But I had my whole draft board up, and now it just disappeared. But he did.
Good for him.
Too many pop-ups. Just pop-ups everywhere. I'm just so tired of pop-ups. Can we not have those? All right. So Kareem Lopez is still on the board. I think this is going to be a spot we're probably going to see. I mean, 6'9", 225. This is a dude I think that could have a really, really good NBA career. We're talking about him, earlier when PJ was on. It's like he's probably going to be the only international player taken in this draft. And there's always themes in the NBA draft, right? Sometimes it's a lot of international players, and then sometimes it's freshmen. This is all freshmen. I mean, this draft class is just like, it's just so many freshmen. But I think you got Kareem Lopez and LeBaron Philon are probably the two that are right now the biggest names remaining that are that are on the board at this point.
Pocket watch?
Probably. Everybody just does stuff that's so cool. Like you see some of these and you're just like, I could never wear any of those things. You know what? I could see you wearing a monocle, actually. I'm going to be honest with you. You feel like a monocle guy. Yes, I'm blessed to be drafted by the Toronto Raptors.
All it takes is one guy to bring it back and make it cool.
This is true.
Well, you know what? It's like you were talking about Mitchell Robinson earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know there's a whole thing with, okay, don't shoot granny style free throws. But if you
I wish you would.
But if you would play that the right way and you were like, no. I know Rick Barry was the original.
Mm-hmm.
If you leaned into that and it was successful, you could brand that.
You're telling me you can't like get that, get that sponsored by like adult diaper companies or something, granny style
thing, and especially if it improves like your game.
Right. Yes.
Oh my God.
We need to stop shaming granny style and allow, because I can't watch Mitchell Robinson at the free throw line again, throwing these line drives. Cool. Here's the list of Santa Clara players. Jalen Williams. Geez, I was like, who am I forgetting? Oh, Pajemski was there too. Okay. So now, Steve Nash. There's literally two.
Obviously.
Bud Ogden in 1969 would not have gotten that one. I was like, how am I forgetting these names in the moment? It's because I'm just thinking about the wolf spider that still crawled into this garage and just scared the living shit out of me. That was the thing tonight. So that was, the nature tends to be a thing occasionally here, I mean, there's woods right across the street. So
I guess that's true. I mean, this is nice out here.
It is. It's very peaceful. Listen, it's great. It's a full neighborhood. It's not like I live in the middle of nowhere, but it's not in DC like you live. And I've done the city thing. And then you come out here and then you're like, well, there's nothing to walk to. So there's also that.
That's nice though.
There's pros and cons. There's pros and cons to everything.
We keep talking about maybe moving out.
Well, listen, we would welcome you out this way if this was your choice. Awesome. Look at those Spurs. I wonder if they're going to draft another dirty player like Victor Wembanyama. Guy's trying to take out people's knees and ankles. Yeah, now they're going to show him. Yeah, let's show him. Let's show that dirty ass player. What do the Spurs do here now?
I don't know.
I mean, they could use a power forward, but I mean, at this point, if you're drafting at 20, are you drafting somebody that's, that you want to see? I think that might be the direction they go. Maybe they go with all right. So here's the best available right now if we're looking at where, San Antonio is. I mean, Kareem Lopez actually would be great for them. He's going to be like a 3 or a 4. LeBaron Philon, they don't need any more guards right now. Chris Sinek out of Houston. There, Cameron Carr. Jaden Quaintance, I think is how you say his name, out of Kentucky.
Okay.
6'10", 255. That's the other one I was thinking. That might actually be the direction they could go here too. Because they could use another 4. They don't need more guards because at this point now it's like you're probably they got to find a way to get Dylan Harper in the starting lineup and see if they trade De'Aaron Fox.
God.
Who, that's
Wolf.
Man.
I don't think I've ever soured on a singular player.
Oh, it was bad.
Based on a series performance as I have on De'Aaron Fox.
That was awful. I mean, just a complete meltdown. For one, I mean, when you think about it, first it was just the horrible decision to go for that layup late. But you go farther beyond that.
Well, there's a whole supercut of
just his
lazy
mistakes,
passes, just not being mentally engaged.
And he's a good player. It just felt like he lost his mind at times in these playoffs, especially late. And I knew that too. I was like, after that whole thing with the layup and it's supposed to dribbling it out and waiting to get fouled, like what was that going to look like?
And there were just so many examples.
What was the rest of
just
the series
a lazy
gonna look like?
pass where you're just giving it away, or you're taking a bad shot, you're rushing a shot when it's not necessary. Like constantly, it's like with just one bad decision. I've never seen someone so disengaged in such a huge moment.
That's what it is it felt like he was disengaged at times. Which, listen, if you have a situation where everybody's ripping you for a bad moment,
right?
What is that going to look like the next game? That's what you got.
Right.
Like that was the question, is where is he going to be mentally? And we got our answer at that.
Oh, it's awful.
All right. The Spurs pick is in. Where do they go? Yeah, Kareem Lopez, they're showing him. This is now it's like, all right, who's going to be the one that drafts or that falls the most in this draft? Because we're, this first round starting to move. We're pick 20 already with San Antonio. Just disappointed, man. I was really hoping for a lot more trades. Maybe a surprise at the top of the draft. Kind of played out generally where we expected it to be. I mean, listen, uneventful is not a bad draft. It's just like I root for chaos occasionally, as long as it doesn't involve a team that I'm, a fan of.
That's nice when you have the number one pick and you get your guy and you can just kick back and watch everyone else.
Go
round and round, chase their tails. Like, we got a guy, you do your thing and entertain me.
Right. I mean, again, the Wizards were in a great spot where you control the draft, you get your guy, and then you kick back and, maybe they trade back into this first round. I know that was something they were looking to do. The Knicks were looking to maybe move off of either 24 or 31. So 31, the first pick of the second round, which was actually the Wizards pick. So maybe there's a situation there where, one or two teams kind of trade back in later in this first round. But, you haven't had the big, I mean, the Giannis trade was the one that you expected to happen before the draft.
Yeah.
It happened before the draft. The Julius Randle trade kind of came out of nowhere. Then it was obvious the Timberwolves were clearing space, and then Ayo Dosunmu got his big deal. So that was what they were looking to do. And Julius Randle, now if I'm him, I'm like, get me the hell out of Brooklyn. I don't want to play for this team. I mean, it's a team that's got nothing.
Right.
They do drag this out, though. Who is the pick? Who do the dirty Spurs?
You guys realize I gotta get the zip car back at some point, right?
This guy's got to get back to DC, damn it. All right.
You know what I've decided?
What have you decided?
Anybody who is on this stream has ever tried a zip car. Like, if you don't have a car, it's basically, instead of a rental car, you can rent a car for a few hours.
I've always wanted to actually hear what that experience is like.
I mean, it's not great because
careful, they could be a sponsor. It's a great experience.
Yeah, it's not great for a lot of people, Nick.
There you go. But for you,
but for me, I love it.
Well, all right, Spurs pick before we find out about zip car. Lots of boos in New York. Jaden Quintance. All right, so there you go. So that's the 6'10", 255, big that they need to fill that 4 spot. So now Kentucky the Kentucky forward goes to them. They add an extra big body that they really needed because they're loaded with guards, and you add another shot blocker,
right?
Dude,
great.
I mean, you're right. The rebounding, the shot blocking between Wemby and
it's a nice piece.
Yeah, it is. That's the perfect fit for them.
They got plenty of good guard play. So you add another defensive piece, another big body that they can just put down low and just protect the rim.
And with Jaden Quintance now going to the Spurs, so keep in mind, the one big thing that especially the Knicks really found was especially the first 2 games of the finals, was the Spurs like to take Victor Wembanyama and they like him roaming like a free safety along the baseline, right? They like to play the zone, let him go around so they can have him protecting the rim. He can step out and kind of disrupt shots because he's got a 1,000-foot wingspan. So he can sit and stand in the lane and then, stretch all the way out to 3-point line. But they want him roaming. But when they had him actually try, but there was nobody else that could guard Karl Anthony Towns. So you had this advantage if you were the Knicks, where so much of it was, all right, who's going to stop Wemby on the Knicks?
Right.
And it turned out who's going to stop Karl Anthony Towns on the Spurs, because if you want to put Victor Wembanyama in as a rim protector, then you're leaving Karl Anthony Towns open, and you have nobody else on the Spurs that can defend him on the perimeter. Wemby could defend him on the perimeter, but then the rim isn't protected. Right. So now the Spurs have themselves another rim protector. So Wemby can either roam. They both can do it. You can have Wemby step out. You can have him go in. You can interwork those guys a little bit into different defensive strategies that just adds a whole new dynamic. That pick is directly counter to what the Knicks were doing in the NBA Finals there.
100%. And it's going to free up Wemby in a lot of ways because now they can do more with him because they have a guy that they can sit in the middle and protect the rim, just like you were saying.
Now, are they going to teach Jaden Quittens also how to try and take out people's ankles and knees? That's the question.
You're very upset about Wemby.
Well, Wemby just like, here's the thing. I want to like Wemby. And really up until the finals, and I know then you start seeing more clips and highlights of like the Minnesota series, but they were beating him up too. So it was kind of a back and forth there. But the egregious, dirty plays coming from Victor Wembanyama from, the landing spot for Jalen Brunson. We all knew what he was doing.
Right.
You can say what you want about the angles on the OG Anunoby jump at his knee. He was leaping forward like he's trying to do a long jump, and his foot, I mean, you can't tell me that wasn't the case. And the Jalen Brunson in his head and don't know. Yeah. He was a dirty ass player in those finals. And if he wants to be the face of the league and all that shit and it matters, then you got to show, like, it's one thing to be a disruptor. Right. It's one thing to like run your mouth, talk trash. Even if you complain to the refs, hell, you can even flop. LeBron's done it his entire career. What you can't be is a dirty player. That's going to follow him around his entire career if he's not careful.
Oh, I mean, it's sort of like, I mean, I don't think this will happen. I think this will come with maturity, and I don't think he's that kind of guy. But it's like when you look at Draymond Green, who's going to be a Hall of Famer, a hell of a player, but the guy who was dirty or who at least couldn't keep his temper in check, who cost his team games, who was sort of an outlaw that didn't benefit his team. Like that's going to be one of the first things that you talk about when you talk about his legacy as a player. When you talk about something that follows something or someone around for the rest of their career, he will not get the credit he deserves for the player that he's been because it will always be, he was always getting kicked out of games. He was always losing his temper and he was hurting his team, which is a bit ironic because he has made those Golden State teams better, but that's part of his reputation that wasn't like an early on thing. It's solidified as part of his legacy.
And it's not like the NBA needs that next face of the league. It's important. Like it's the post LeBron type thing, but you can't have him. You can't have Victor Wembanyama checks all the boxes, but you can't have that type of reputation. You could be the villain.
Yeah.
But you can't be a dirty player because like you said, it's going to cloud everything else that's gone on and people are just going to go, but, and that hurts. Look, the NBA cares. The NBA cares. NBA cares. Boy, that was,
I was like,
placement. Wow, the NBA does care. The NBA cares about player safety. No. The NBA cares about player marketing, and they should. I mean, it's their bread and butter. The stars you have in that league are very marketable players. They know that that's something Victor Wembanyama cannot be. He cannot be considered a dirty player because it's going to hurt his marketability. It's a big, big problem.
Yeah, it's just like, just like SGA and flopping. And I know that's been talked about a lot. I hate to be a dead horse, but it was even more egregious.
Yes.
Like as bad as it's been, as much as we've seen, this is not a new story.
Right.
It was even worse. It's worse than it's ever been in the playoffs where, again, you're talking about a two-time MVP, one of the potential faces of the league, maybe the face of the league, but who is hurting his brand because he is doing something that is unnecessary.
Yes.
Absolutely. Just like Wemby, he was dirty in the finals. I'm not willing to say he's a dirty player, but if you let this continue, it will be a part of your reputation, just like with SGA. There's a lot of asterisks.
Attached to
his
Good job
name.
saying that word, by the way.
It's tough.
It's sometimes a struggle.
A lot of reasons why people don't like him, and the flopping was it was so out of control. Like it was enraging to watch.
Oh, I know.
Like, this isn't basketball. Like, I don't know what this is, but this isn't basketball.
It was so over the top, and I think my hope is that they kind of go away from that a little bit now, that strategy, because they weren't getting the calls in the playoffs, and that's the one thing. And I know they've already won a title, but the Thunder have to be able to look at that series and go, we weren't getting the calls that we're used to getting. The playoffs are more physical. They are officiated differently. And we all know that the league wants to extend series. There's a reason why there were certain officials in certain games in the NBA Finals. When you have a ref that's the lead official that's called the extender, what is the NBA trying to do? We understand what it is. But, I just... It was disrespectful to the game of basketball.
That's exactly right.
And listen, I said I love the Thunder and what they've built, that fan base, that organization, that front office, everything. I mean, it's incredible what they built, but my God, the just over the top, falling down, trying to draw fouls on every play. And like, I get it. There's a level of strategy to point. Going to the basket and taking some contact, getting fouled, that's one thing. It's the like, it was what SGA was doing. All right, Pistons on the clock, pick number 21. Pick is in. Select. There he is, Kareem Lopez out of Mexico.
Lopez.
First international player taken in this draft. I think he's going to be great for Detroit. And he's a kid, too. Yeah, he's still only 19.
Who does he look like?
You know, he does look like somebody.
Lopez brothers, maybe?
Who does he look like?
Kind of like an early Brook Lopez. He has the curly hair.
I don't know, but you're right. He looks
like someone.
Or is it just an actor?
Maybe it's an actor.
Does he just look like an actor?
Who does he look like?
I don't know, but it's
Handsome
funny
guy.
that it's funny that you said that because I thought the same thing. I was like
someone.
No, it's not. Eduardo Nájera, but the second. No, that he's not related to Eduardo Nájera. It's just the second Mexican-born player drafted. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. I can't think of who he.
There's someone that's going to hit me. Huh.
He did play in the NBL too, the Australian league, that is a physical league.
Is it?
Oh yeah, it's like if there's no blood, there's no foul. So he's going to be a very physical player for the Pistons, which is great because that's how they played last year. They just lost it at times. Even in the first round, the Magic were out physicaling.
You nailed it.
They were physicaling.
They were though.
They were the Magic, and that's why the Magic almost won that series. But he can run the floor too and make plays. I mean, I just think this kid, especially today, 6'9", being able to put the ball in your hands, create your own shot. It's just so valuable in today's NBA. Goes to the basket strong. I mean, there they are attacks the basket. See, I said it before it was up there though. No, but
you have knowledge of the NBL because I do not.
It is. Well, that's one of those leagues where a lot of young kids will go and they've kind of set it up so they can, hey, you want to go to the NBA, but you can come here first if you want. Well, that's where LaMelo went there. Not Lonzo. Yeah, LaMelo played there.
Okay.
Yeah, he left and went there. There was another guy, too, the Warriors drafted that was out of their draft, left high school early. I remember that trend was starting for like a short period of time. I still can't figure out who he looks like. I don't know. Maybe it's an actor. I can't figure it out, man. But, yeah, I think that Kareem Lopez might end up being one of the steals of this draft. At 21, people might look back at that and go, the Pistons got an absolute steal. All right, Sixers are on the clock. Hawks, and then the Knicks. Those are the next three picks. I'm going to try to get another shot in on that hoop because now we got a wider.
Do it.
Here, so let's see. If you had to set odds where you got the ball, throw me
oh, yeah. Oh.
We're back here because we're in between picks here. So for people just jumping on here, this is the swoosh hoop. And it's over my head. And it's from the dollar store. And it's the most floppy rim in the world. And this squishy thing right here that Jenks just gave me is not really a basketball. How would you describe this?
I would describe this as a rotten orange, very soft.
We're going to see if we can make some more shots on this floppy rim while we're in between picks.
All right, here we go. I'm not very good at play-by-play.
So, you want to give it a shot?
Sure. Let's do it.
All right. Jenks is up next. All right. Holy Lord. Let's see if we can get it. See if we can get it on the swoosh. I got to get out of your way. I'll sit here. So here he is. You can see it's not easy. This is probably one of the toughest hoops. It's one of the toughest hoops because it's not a real basketball hoop. And it's not like an arcade hoop. Nope, nothing. I was going to say, are you just throwing this thing now like a baseball? I'm watching in this. You almost opened the door. It is the most difficult thing, and you can just see it up in the corner up there. It's one of the most difficult hoops you could shoot on because it's just the cheapest plastic in the world. I don't know what the challenge is yet for this. We're going to figure it out. Yeah! There it is. We got one. You got to get one. You got to get one. And there you go.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, right? Because
weird.
There's no, like, the rim is so floppy. It almost looks like a flopping bird.
Yeah.
And it's just brutal. It was good. You should run to the bathroom. Next is going to run to the bathroom, and I'll just hang out here for a minute. So we've killed a spider tonight. We've shot on the cheapest basketball hoop that you could possibly imagine. We haven't had any big trades. I got to be honest, it's very disappointing. It's disappointing that we haven't had any big trades in this tonight. I did think that we might see like a Ja Morant trade tonight, but that might take a little bit longer. I mean, a couple of small moves, right? Like you're going to have a couple of these little swapping picks, the Grizzlies and Thunder swap their picks, but nothing really out of the ordinary at this point. The Wizards didn't surprise anybody. Taking AJ Dybantsa number 1. You really had the top 4, exactly what people expected. I swear to God, there's another bug in here. All right. It's if it's another spider, we've killed one spider, giant spider. Just don't ever want to do that again. But here we are waiting for the Sixers now at 22. And it's just kind of feeling like it's rolling through as a draft where people kind of are getting what you expected. Guys not really dropping too far down. Nate Ament dropped a little bit, you could argue. Ade Mara goes to the Thunder, which was kind of expected. Not overly crazy at this point. And now the Sixers are up. Sixers got to figure things out because they're just dealing with a ton of injuries. Isaiah Evans still on the board out of Duke. That's a guy that's looked at as probably going right around this spot. Might see an opportunity there for that. The pick is in. See, they always trick you, though, right? You watch this, they trick you. And there's Jenks. Jenks just went to the bathroom. Did you wash your hands?
Oh.
Yeah. He took a big shit and didn't wash his hands. Save that for later.
I'm still learning.
Still learning how to do that.
You're never too old to learn.
I'm just glad you made that shot. All right.
That's right. It took a minute to calibrate.
I mean, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy.
Oh, man.
Here we are. Okay. Draft's going by fast, though. First round's wrapping up here soon. Oh, all right. So what I was talking about while you were in there taking a poop was not how difficult it is to shoot on that hoop behind us, but as I move this around, this is not. There we go. Let's just try and adjust this properly here.
Sure.
There we go. Not a lot of there's no real surprises in this draft, which is the big surprise.
Yeah.
I thought we would see a couple of trades. I thought we'd see a couple of teams that are looking to get into this, maybe back into this first round, but it might be the back end here. All right. Sixers pick is in. There's LeBaron Philon out of Alabama. Well, that means that he's going to be a bust because Adam Silver said the Sixers name wrong. I'm surprised he doesn't mess up more. The Philadelphia 70, he said the Philadelphia 70, Philadelphia 67, or I don't know what he said, but he definitely jumbled it a little bit.
And of course, the crowd immediately starts.
Oh, of course. Well, that's kind of just a rite of passage now as a commissioner in any sport. You just get booed. Like Goodell was always that way, but I feel like now it's just kind of like that's just what you get. Like people are just doing it. You just do it to do it, you know?
Yeah. Well,
especially
in Brooklyn.
Just about to say,
especially
you're in Brooklyn here.
Right.
Like it's going to be different. You go to other places, for the NFL draft, maybe it's a little different, but this right here, no, this is what you'd expect. Like New York is giving you where it is. So I hope PJ's happy now.
Good for him.
Yep.
I don't mind when guys get emotional. I appreciate it. Like it's got to be an amazing feeling when you finally get your name called, right?
I just got a text about a picture of that spider that I killed earlier, and it was just, what the F is that? Yeah, that was a spider. That was the largest spider of all time, and it was really scary. There's going to be people that are mad that I killed that spider, and you know what? I don't care. It was big and scary.
The other night, Catherine was like, well, there was a roach in our house. I was like, ew, did you kill it? She's like, no, I took it and I put it outside. I think you can kill a roach, honey.
I got a funny story for you. So this is one of my great accomplishments that will never go in any Hall of Fame.
Okay.
That will never be in any highlights anywhere, but it is one of my life highlights. Okay. So before we moved into this house now, we lived in Falls Church, Virginia. People that are from the area know where that is. Doesn't really matter.
Okay.
But we have a cat. We have a dog. At that point, we only had our cat. Didn't have the dog yet. But our cat, she's probably a kitten at that point, maybe a year old, whatever it was. And we realized we had a mouse problem in that house.
Okay.
And we lived, it was a townhouse, bunch of houses there, but, we're right by like water and there's some woods behind the townhouse development and all that. So you're going to get some wildlife coming in there. We started to realize there was a mouse problem because we would find bags of cat food that had been like eaten from underneath. I'm like, oh shit, we got a problem here. So a couple of them we found actually in the house and we set traps. They were supposed to be the non-kill kind. Bullshit.
Right.
Unfortunately, they killed some of them. I didn't really want to. I just wanted to set them free.
Yeah.
And then our cat started bringing them to us. So we found out there were 6 total when it was all said and done. 6. So it was like a family of mice. Fortunately, a couple died. Didn't mean to. Didn't want to kill them. Sorry, PETA. Didn't want to do it. But it was an accident. But then our cat started bringing these mice to us. And I'm like, all right, well, I know it's a gift, but this is going to work. So I got, I literally got one time, put it in a Tupperware, walked it away from the house because you're supposed to go kind of far.
Yeah.
Set it free on a walking path that was there. Then there was one night where we started hearing scurrying in the middle of the night. And you know when anybody has a cat, and you hear that scurrying in the middle of the night, it's either the zoomies or it's they got some shit for you. And I kind of, when you're like that half daze and you wake up and you're like, what's going on? Uh-oh. And you could hear the scurrying. Lindsay, my wife's like, I think she's got a mouse. And I'm like, no. And I'm like half asleep. All of a sudden, our cat jumps on the bed and my wife screams. The cat brought the mouse onto the bed. I'm half asleep. I'm back is turned. I roll over I'm right-handed with my left hand, blindly reach over, clamp down and grab the mouse in the bed with my bare hand, and then proceed to walk directly out of the house. Had to put pants on first. Prefer to sleep naked, for anybody that doesn't know that. By the way, big fan of that. Anybody doesn't.
Agreed.
Need nothing. See?
Yeah.
Way to go. We should talk about that next. The mouse is in my hand. I'm sitting there trying to like put on a pair of shorts or pants or some shit. I don't even remember. Literally holding this mouse in my left hand, half asleep. Wife's like, oh my God. I get out of the house, just toss the thing. I'm like, I can't even like release you around the neighborhood. Just go. I will never be able to match the dexterity and the reaction time of a cat myself from grabbing a mouse that was trapped in my bed, scurrying around for its life after our cat brought it in the middle of the night, like, hey, I brought you a present. You guys like this? Look what I brought you. No, don't ever bring us a mouse again. I will never be able to match that again. It's one of my greatest accomplishments.
Incredible.
I'm very proud of that. I'm going to be honest with you.
Not just the dexterity. You didn't like jump out of bed screaming or like yelling, which a lot of people do. They wouldn't admit it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't admit it.
My wife can attest to that. She's watching some murder documentary right now or something. I don't know. Really on Netflix. I'm sure that's what it is.
Oh, the one time I had dexterity out of nowhere was when this was a party at my apartment when I was in college. And this was total luck, by the way. And a buddy of mine was trying to flick a bottle cap at me from like a Coors Light bottle or something. He's across the room and he flicks it across the room. And I just turn and happen to close my fingers at the right time. And so as he flicks it, I just turn and I catch it.
No way.
And he goes, oh my God, serious? What? And I didn't even see it. I was just like, and he was losing it. And I was just like,
that's better than my story. No. That's awesome.
And I mean,
you a magician?
Could never do it in a billion years. Didn't know he was doing it.
Yeah. Did you buy lottery tickets after that? Because you're lucky as shit.
He was jumping around, and I was like, and now when I realized what would happen, I was like, oh, I guess that was pretty cool.
That's better than my story.
No, it's not, Nick.
Yes, it is. It's better.
You had
than
a live animal. And you let it go.
You caught a bottle cap.
Yeah, but you caught a mouse.
All right, that's fair.
And you let it go.
That's fair.
If I'd done that, I'd be like, now I caught the mouse. I squeezed it to death in my terror in the moment. Like you actually caught it and kept it alive.
I did.
That's amazing.
I was pretty proud of that. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty proud. I felt like a hero, too, because you're right. I could have just been a little bitch and screamed. But instead, I was the hero. And I'm proud of being the hero.
Oh, there was a mouse. We worked together in TV. There was I think this was before we worked together, but there was a mouse loose in the newsroom once.
No.
And I saw someone, I don't know if you knew this person or not, which I will not name names.
Okay.
Jump on top of a desk and would not come down until that mouse was coming.
What does their name rhyme with?
It's him.
It's him? What does their name rhyme with?
Mandy. I don't think you knew this person.
Okay, maybe I did. Because I'm trying to think.
Before you.
I don't think I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, he really does not like mice.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's those moments where you get to know the inner fears of somebody. Then again, I'm the one that just got freaked out by the giant spider that was on the floor here. So I did attack it though, and I did save you.
You did.
So I was your hero because I crushed it with a mallet. I crushed it with the giant mallet. Still here for our protection in case we need to do anything else. The GameDay Garage Titan. This was for we totally ripped off the
Texas
during
Hammer.
Football season. Actually.
Oh wait.
The Texas Hammer. Should we do another Texas Hammer commercial, Jenks? Zuby Ejiofor. I'll be honest with you. Not a lot on Zuby Ejiofor for me at this point.
I like Zuby.
Thanks, Jenks.
Is
he the Texas Hammer?
He's the Texas Hammer. I mean, I think it's because I watched a lot of him play at St. John's because the rebirth of St. John's has been fun.
It has. I'm being a little bit of a smart ass. Look, I follow all these players, but sometimes you're just like, okay, this is...
And also, I'm not going to be one to pretend to give you some sort of deep dive analysis.
That's not what this show is. That's not what we're doing here.
I like this game. He's been fun to watch. He's been part of that renaissance, and
it is really cool. And it's great for college basketball to see St. John's. There's those certain programs, St. John's, Georgetown, that you just want to see have success. And, St. John's has gotten to that point. Georgetown hasn't. They've been a mess for a long time. But, you hope that can start to really turn around. Otherwise, you got to take the hammer to them.
And not that it's exactly the same as they put up the Knicks, but there's something about when a college team like St. John's or the Knicks, when the Garden is rocking the way it does during the tournament, when the Johnnies are playing well, and there is something special about that is hard to replicate.
I know, I agree. Yeah. I think when there's, New York and basketball are kind of synonymous. Like, oh wow, they got like a full on celebration for the Knicks. Yeah. This has got to piss everybody that's a Brooklyn fan off. The 5 Nets fans that are there. Oh man, they're doing smoke. They got Knicks fans dancing. Meanwhile, the one Portland Trailblazers fan with his jersey. Look at me, I'm a Blazers fan. Cool, dude. Oh, they're just like, this is a full-on celebration. And you know what? It's going to get milked. There's the kids again. Everybody's got the Knicks jerseys. This is a different scene. Think about this. When's the last time we saw an NBA draft with happy Knicks fans?
Never.
It's usually booing whoever gets picked. Complete change here. Little random shot of the trophy with the camera guy in the shot. It's a full.
This is the part of the evening where they just kind of take their time.
This is
whatever shot you can get, guys. Let's go ahead and get that.
It's like we're wrapping up the first round here now. We're getting to that point where it's like, okay, are we going to have some surprising trade? Right. Is somebody just going to come out of nowhere here? Some people have left their tables. We're sitting here talking about the Texas Hammer and killing spiders and catching mice. But, we are committed. We're committed to the end of this because, damn it, your zip car got you out here, and it was a great experience, and we'd love you to sponsor GameDay Garage in all of our shows that we have.
I can't wait until like 10 minutes from now. It's why Stephen A. can't believe Dusty May left Michigan. It's like, oh, great.
You're going to get that at some point. We got to fill time at some point.
Right.
But see, this is the thing. If they let people talk about other things during the draft, like, I don't know, catching mice and, zip car and things like that, I think, you'd be able to just have a lot more stories that are told. That's why we like to tell stories here. That's what's very important. For the love of God, the Knicks need to make their pick. Although I am curious. Oh, here we go. Reported trade. All right, let's see. So there was reports that the Knicks were going to trade out of the first round. Their roster's pretty loaded right now already. They do have a couple of free agents, but let's see what this is. I don't see any alerts yet. Oh, okay. All right. So the Knicks are actually just trading. They're trading back a spot. Okay. So the Knicks and Lakers have traded. The Knicks are going back to 25. The Lakers are coming up to 24. And it's really just going to go one spot. So I don't know who the Knicks have gotten along with that. My guess is it's probably some sort of second round pick to go one. It's like 1 or 2 second round picks. So right now that's what we're waiting to see at this point. See where the Lakers go here.
Yeah.
And for the Knicks, so the big one is Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson's a free agent. Landry Shamet was good, although he did kind of lose his shot a little bit it was game 3 when he was like 1 for 8. But he was good for them in the playoffs for a majority of the time. But you are going to now have to decide whether Landry Shamet's going to be too expensive for you on an already expensive roster. And it's sounding like now they're not going to want to go into the luxury tax. They're trying to avoid. They've got to show Spike Lee with the trophy.
Of course.
Got to show Spike Lee there. Mitchell Robinson may not be back, so the Knicks might have to consider finding another like rim protector. Maybe a guy that can shoot free throws.
Well, the thing is, too, is when you talk about, no disrespect to those guys, but you're talking about guys that are replaceable as far as what they bring to the team.
Yeah, you are. You can find Mitchell Robinson's a liability offensively, dude.
What I mean.
Well, not as an offensive rebounder, one of the best offensive rebounders in the NBA, but like when the ball is in his hands, half the time they're intentionally fouling him and he won't shoot granny style. Right. He refuses to shoot granny style.
Like those are pieces that you can replace
and
still be a championship.
Yes. And, the starting lineup is what's most important for them. But again, depth was important.
Yeah, that's true.
On top of that, but you can also, they're going to have to get younger and cheaper in some capacity too, because you're going to be talking about a Karl Anthony Towns contract extension. You're going to have to talk about, OG Anunoby is even going to be not too far down the road. And obviously Jalen Brunson, who took a pay cut, and he's not going to take a pay cut again. And they're going to have to pay him. And it would look bad on the Knicks if they did not after they win a championship and he gave up $100 million.
Whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And they should.
Yeah.
And they should.
And build a statue for him.
100%.
That's what's going to be important too. All right, so the Knicks pick is in, which is actually going to be for the Lakers. The Knicks and Lakers have swapped. The Lakers move up a spot. The Knicks move back. All we know right now is that. I don't know what else the Knicks have gotten in return, but it probably won't be that much to move back one spot. That means the Lakers obviously have somebody very specific in mind. Koa Pete still on the board. Chris Sinek, I think isn't that how you say it? I always feel like I say, you like see a name and you still feel like you always say it wrong.
Yeah.
Out of Houston. All right, let's see. So the Knicks pick, which will be for the Lakers. Cameron Carr. So Cameron Carr has been sitting on the board for a while. One of the guys that's actually kind of dropped in this first round a little bit. Sitting there in the green room waiting. So he was drafted, but reportedly traded to the Lakers. So Cameron Carr, the guard out of Baylor. Now the question is going to be, what are the Knicks going to do at 25? And what else did the Knicks get? I haven't seen anything else in terms of what it was yet. Okay, so here we go. So Cameron Carr, picked by the Knicks, going to go to the Lakers. No, all we see is proposed trade. I'm not actually getting any. What else did they give up? We're not getting anything else. Now Shams doesn't want to give us any information. Okay.
Shams is calling it a night.
Well, I think the thing with Shams, I think they told him, like, stop spoiling the picks because it's ESPN and you work for ESPN, and they're like, don't do it. Because then everybody knows what's coming ahead of time. I hated that. There was a point where I was like, I'm staying off Twitter until the pick has happened, because you'd get like 2 picks ahead, and it's like, it's just not fun. I actually want to be in that moment and have that, like, oh, wow, or
well, there's just something about seeing it and watching it happen as opposed to just reading a line about it.
Yes.
I mean, there's the whole visceral experience that comes with actually experiencing the pick and seeing the reactions.
That's the big thing, is like the reactions.
Yeah.
You're right. Like, once everybody knows, it's just not as fun. So the Lakers the Lakers have this weird kind of 1 foot in a future, without LeBron. And then the question is, do they still have LeBron for one more season? It sounds like it's Lakers, Cavs, Warriors, the 3 teams for him. The Lakers make the most sense, could probably pay him the most. I did see an idea, and this is more of just like hey, I've got an idea that, swirls around the internet,
right,
of a Lakers sign and trade with the Heat so LeBron can go to the Heat for one last ride back to Miami, which I never thought about. It was always free. I mean, you know me, I've been saying this for 3 years. LeBron back to the Cavs to finish his career. Bronny goes with him. It's all fun. We love LeBron and let's celebrate. But, for the Lakers, at some point, it's shit or get off the pot. You got to move forward with Luka. You're going to have to talk. Luka's going to be doing another contract not that long down the road. Austin Reeves has to get paid right now. So the Lakers getting another guard in Cameron Carr is obviously, oh, that's right, his dad, Chris Carr. I forgot about Chris Carr. With that Timberwolves jersey that's back again.
Yeah.
He could fly, man. Yeah, that 97 dunk contest with Kobe. And then they didn't do it until Vince Carter came back. This was the last one. Which, Kobe was good, but I missed the old dunk contest.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Fun fact, Ray Allen, one of the greatest shooters of all time, was in that dunk contest in 1997.
Did I see him in the background there?
Yes, he was in that dunk contest. Also, Allen Houston was once in a dunk contest with the Pistons as well.
Former Nick. Okay.
Well, thinking of these shooters that also were pretty good dunkers back in the day, it's occasionally have that. You're like, oh shit, that's right. Yeah, they were dunkers.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Knicks. So they just go one spot. The Knicks. Oh, it's just cash considerations.
Okay. Thank God.
That's the most boring trade ever.
The
cash consideration trades are absolutely just the worst.
Those guys are about to pop up on the screen, I bet, because of the delay.
Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, so you've got the Lakers draft room right now, and everybody there. While you see Shams talking about the Lakers, and the question is, then do we see it? Then it's like TV Inception at that point.
See themselves.
Do you think Shams' hairline is real?
Oh, he didn't do it.
Yeah, they cut it just in time before we could see the.
I have had friends of mine for years being like, "Be honest about your hair. Is it real?" I'm like, are you serious? We've known each other for 20 years.
Yep. Yes. You take good care of it.
Yes.
It's
not a big deal.
Well, it is,
not
though.
A big deal.
It is a big deal to a point.
I had a friend of mine be like, honestly, just tell me. I was like,
would they think they were going to catch you at a moment? You were like, I got hair plugs.
And I'm like, okay.
Yes. Let me rip off my wig here. Yeah. What do they think? It was hair plugs?
I don't know. They just. I'm like, listen. I know I'm older. I just got lucky.
You got great hair.
That's all there is to it.
As long as it's the front. If you start getting thin in the back, then it's at least a little bit hideable. It's the front that you want to be able to keep. You can do that. All right. So we'll see now. The Lakers, 40 seconds left on the clock, but this is actually the Knicks pick. Nothing like getting traded for cash considerations.
Yeah, man, it was a big trade for me.
It's
Draft not. What they trade you for? Cash consideration.
I mean, at least try to get like a second rounder or something out of it. The Knicks were just because the Knicks didn't really even they didn't care about this first round pick that much. So that's the thing is like, all right, we get some cash out of it, but okay. I mean, you'd like to see them get something, even like a future second round pick, just bringing something else to the table. But we'll see what the Knicks actually do. And if there's not really a lot of international guys. A lot of times these spots where teams have somebody that's, you can stash and bring over, from overseas later. Frederick Weiss, who'd never played for the Knicks. That's one of the worst picks of all time. There's a name for you. They passed on Ron Artest for Frederick Weiss, and he never played a game for the Knicks. One of the worst draft picks of all time. Knicks have a real dark history of players, man. When you really think about it, Jerome James signing him for like one great series with the Sonics in the playoffs, that was a disaster. He was just an utter mess. The Eddie Curry trade, they got like 1 year out of it. I mean, just you can go down the list.
I forgot that you had some history with being sort of your Knicks fandom back in the
day. Hey, man, the Knicks, I know people in D.C. got mad at me when I said it, but I'm like, listen, I love the Wizards. Oh, I mean, not everybody, but some people are like, oh, I get it. I'm like, the Knicks are my childhood team. Like, the first sport that I ever loved was basketball. The first sport that I ever, just that made me love sports in general was basketball. And as a kid, I lived in New Jersey at the time. Shout out Lake Hopakong. And, the Knicks were cool. And I was 8 years old and was watching them in, the finals. And I'm like, this is awesome. I would like to be a fan of this team. And you jump on the bandwagon when you're a little kid, but you stay with it. And I've suffered. So you can't tell me a Redskins fan / Commanders fan and also a Knicks fan. It doesn't get much more suffery than that.
Oh, that's the truth.
I mean, it's just, and listen, part of being a fan is suffering.
Yeah.
We all do, but you got to stick with your teams because it makes the wins that much better.
When I was a kid, the first NFL team I fell in love with was the Eagles. And
whoa.
I know.
This is news to me. I may make you leave early.
I know. Well, Commander fans are like, what?
Yeah.
But when I grew up in the 80s, there was a running back for the Eagles, very good running back, Wilbert Montgomery.
Yep.
Well, Wilbert Montgomery sat next to my mom in class because they both went to Abilene Christian University.
Oh, really?
So when your mom is like, I sat next to this guy you're seeing on
Fan
TV,
of the player.
I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. I'll take on this team. And then when I was sick as a kid, I had cancer. And of course, someone wrote the team and said, hey, this kid's sick. And they sent me a box of stuff. Well, of course, you get a ton of football.
Of course.
You're getting yearbooks. You're getting memorabilia. And so that era I love because of how kind the franchise was to me.
I can't really argue.
I grew out of that. And then I'm like, now I'm all
so you have a weapon here because you get to use the kid with cancer thing. So nobody can ever say shit to you now.
I know. And I don't want to go into that. But you can.
I mean, you have it though. Right, it's part of the story, Oh, here we go. Oh, they're recapping the deals. We know. Right. Honestly, it's just got to be weird for Adam Silver to go up there and give you a trade that everybody already knows about already. I guess we know this. We already know the trade. Shams already has it. Can we just get to the point here? All right. The Lakers drafting for the Knicks. We got a second international guy in this draft.
No idea.
Big forward out of Spain. You know what? Then this may be a stash for the Knicks.
Guys are absolutely faking.
But here you go. This is right. This is
This
is Knicks fans just celebrating. Yeah, Sergio De La Rea. They don't know who he is. You can tell. This is just Knicks fans sticking around for it. One guy's got a just great mustache. This may actually be he's only 175. He is scrawny. He might be skinnier than you, dude. 6'6", 175. But so he may actually be that draft and stash guy I was telling you about. Great shooter and athletic. Let him spend a little bit of time overseas, and the Knicks have somebody that they can bring in later. This actually could be a really good pick if he develops down the road, and it's maybe not necessarily about right now.
Speaking of hair, look at that.
Good head of hair. Well, he's like 19 probably. So, yeah, you lose your hair at 19, that sucks.
Oh, man, yeah, that's brutal. All right, so we got the Nuggets, the Celtics. We're going to have Martino Puccio jumping on with us in a few minutes before the Celtics pick. I want to know what's going on, too, with Jaylen Brown, because I just think that Jaylen Brown situation is going to be real volatile it's going
with the Celtics. It has to, right?
When a team or the franchise that you're loyal to dangles you out there and essentially says, maybe you'd be better elsewhere. There's no way you can feel the same. Like my first job, I'll never forget. My news director. I had 4 news directors in a year and a half, and God, this guy, worst human being ever. Guy was in Tiger King. It's terrible.
What, like, was actually in Tiger King?
Oh yeah. If you look,
buried the lead. Okay, let's start with this, and then I need to hear about Tiger King, who everybody's forgotten about. Tiger King.
If you watch Tiger King,
who
there's a guy named Rick Kirkham.
It's the only thing we were watching during the pandemic.
Yeah. So Rick Kirkham, he was the documentarian.
Okay.
That spent all this time like documenting the Tiger King before it was a Netflix documentary, and I think all of his footage got burned up in a fire or something like that. He wears this large brown hat. His teeth are brown. He's an awful person. So this guy, we had 4 news directors in a year and a half. He was number 4. He eventually got fired. So he calls me into his office one day, and he's like, and I was, as a quick aside, I was dating the news anchor at the time. I was the weekend sports anchor. Her name was Amy. So he calls me into his office and he goes, Michael, I hear you're trying to leave us. And I was like, Rick, I go, I make $13,500 a year. I go, we're all trying to leave, like all of us.
Good for you for saying that.
I was like, we're all trying. It's not personal.
Yeah.
Like we're at the poverty line.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, listen, we know you're trying to leave. You suck. Management hates you, and you're never going anywhere.
Damn.
And I was like, he goes, look, if you whisper something to Amy, it's going to get back to me. And I was like,
what?
Okay. And I was like, and this guy's my boss. So I'm like, okay, Rick. And I just had to absorb that and just get up and walk out.
And that was the end of the conversation.
And that was the end of that conversation.
How long before you left?
It was not long after that.
Okay. Good.
Not long after that.
And he was in Tiger King.
He was in Tiger King.
Okay.
And so when
he has brown teeth.
He's the documentarian who documented the Tiger King before this became a Netflix thing. He wears like this large brown brimmed hat.
Okay.
My phone was going nuts during Tiger King. Like, dude.
It's your guy. It's your guy.
Absolutely crazy. Not a good guy.
What was his name again? Rick?
Rick Kirkham.
Hey, Rick, fuck you. You're a dick.
He was not a good guy.
I'm Team Jenks. Sounds like an awful human being.
He was not great.
Did you send him a picture of all your Emmys? I mean, that's a flex, dude. He said you're never going anywhere, and then you win 1 million Emmys. I think you sent him a picture, and you just said the middle finger. Emmys behind you, couple of middle fingers. That's it. I mean, I think it's warranted because that's insanely unprofessional to talk to somebody the way that he did.
So I guess my point of saying that is that once I was told that, I thought, I don't think I want to be here any longer.
And you shouldn't have wanted to be there.
Brown.
I mean,
maybe I don't want to be here any longer.
Good God. I mean, that guy's one of the worst. But, you know, listen, how old do you think he was like at that point? Like, was he been in the business 40s. A while? Okay. So he'd been in the business at least a little while.
This guy also told me, I swear to God, he comes to the sports office one day and he's like, Michael, this guy was like a walking caricature. And he was like, he's like, Michael, listen, you look really young for your age. Now that's going to help you out later on, but you need to mature. He goes, honest to God, I'd recommend starting smoking.
Oh my God.
I swear to God. And he was a smoker. He had all sorts of like smoking creases. I was like, does this cat
join me in the smoking?
He was like, you should start smoking.
Oh. To what? Sound like you had a deeper voice,
like,
I guess?
Need to give your face some age.
So make yourself age prematurely by smoking.
Yes.
That was his advice.
Hand
well,
to
no
God.
wonder this guy hasn't done
Hand
shit.
to God. He's like, you should start smoking.
No wonder he hasn't done anything. I mean, really, like the advice, literally. So basically what it is all the advice he gave, you did the opposite, thankfully.
Rest.
He's a complete idiot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Complete idiot. That is, you know what? I've had some good bosses. I've had a couple of idiots.
Yeah.
That guy is far worse than anything I've ever. I mean, that is a horrible human being right there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just dumb. Just dumb. Yeah. Like doesn't know anything. I mean, clearly just doesn't know a thing. Wow. You should start smoking like me. I got some, you can go menthol, little Marlboro Reds if you want. Got some natural ones for you too. No filter. Yeah. She's still alive?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Last I checked, yeah.
He's still kicking, I guess.
Yeah, still kicking.
All right, well, you know.
Hanging around.
Hey, I'll tell you what. For someone that I guess smokes that much, you know, I kind of feel like he's one of those people that because he smokes, he just wanted to get other people to do it with him.
Probably.
Yeah. You know?
Like I've done it. I'm doing it. Look at me.
You want to do it with me? Come on, man. All the cool kids are doing it.
Have a cig.
Yeah. That's you know, you could have bonded with him that way, stayed there forever.
It's 98. Let's go outside and have a heater and a coffee.
You want to smoke some darts? Let's rip a dart real quick. God. I'm trying to picture what this guy looked. All right. So I
gotta find a picture.
All right. Let me see first if I can picture what he looks like. So I picture a guy probably a little shorter, like 5'8", 5'7", stumpy, definitely bald, but has like the Larry David hair thing where it's no top, but just around the side. Very wrinkly, brown teeth. You already gave me that. And I feel like really dirty hands for some reason. I'm kind of close.
You're not bad.
Oh, I mean, I remember. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember this shithead. Oh, I mean, of course this guy told you to smoke.
Yeah.
Do you want to show us a picture?
Yeah,
do it?
sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's everywhere.
Oh, geez.
Oh, God. Oh, you need to see this picture. You need to see this. All right. This is the guy. This was once Michael Jenkins' boss. Can you imagine that face? Oh, yeah, you should smoke.
You should start smoking.
You should start smoking. It'll make you feel better. It'll make you feel older.
Menthol's so good.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go have a heater and a coffee.
Oh, my God. I mean, look at
that.
Donut? He's, other than the hat, I think I nailed it to a point.
Yes.
But now I kind of remember who he is. All right, Terrace Reed, the center out of UConn, goes to the Nuggets. Here comes Martino Puccio.
I have to bounce soon.
You know what? You want to bounce now, my friend?
You know what? I'm going to do it. That way I can let
Martino's coming on now.
Martino. I just want to say hi, Martino. How you doing, brother?
Gentlemen, how are we tonight?
We are good. We are good. Jenks has put in his work tonight. He's got to commute back to DC. You'll hang with me for a few minutes, and then I'll wrap this thing up as we're getting to the end of the draft. We're talking about a former boss that Jenks had, who was actually in Tiger King, who told him that he looked too young when he was in Texas for his first job, so he should have smoked to make himself look older. That was the advice he got from this boss. So we've all had shit bosses. This guy takes the cake, I think, at this point.
We should not have bosses who encourage smoking.
Yeah.
You know, bring it back. I think it's coming back, actually.
Oh, so this one's a trade.
So your Celtics are up. All right, Jenks, you out of here, Jenks. It's good to see you, buddy. Jenks is off now. PJ's put in his time. Martino's going to hang for a bit, and then we're going to be wrapping this thing up here at this point now. Make sure you get everything. Don't forget any of your stuff. Now, I will kind of shift if I can here, I think, at this point. There we go. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can leave that there. Thanks, buddy. All right, see you, Jenks. Jenks is off. Martino, we're tagging you in for a few minutes, my friend. All right, Celtics on the clock here now.
Yes.
What do the Celtics need? When are they going to trade Jaylen Brown? Because there's no way Jaylen Brown can stay there after he was in trade rumors.
We'll go with the Jaylen Brown side of things first. I'm pretty surprised that they didn't get anything done today, but when you look at the list of all the teams that were out there after the Giannis trade had happened, a lot of them don't really sync up in what those teams would give up would be of value for Boston. I think that they put Jaylen in these trade talks for someone like Giannis because he's that good. And if there isn't anyone else out there and they don't have this sort of Godfather offer for them that would make this very tough to turn down, like say Washington, for example, gave them number one. That was never going to happen. Just like Atlanta won't give up Jalen Johnson, and some of these other teams like Amon Thompson wouldn't be given up by the Houston Rockets in this sort of trade. So I don't really see Boston doing anything with Jaylen Brown. I do actually see an extension happening. This has been happening for years now. You know, Kevin Durant was almost traded to Boston in Brooklyn. Jaylen was offered for him then. I think he's really just offered for these super natural talents. So Brad Stevens hasn't been hesitant to shop them. I think Jaylen, unless he's communicated that he's wanted to trade, which has kind of been rumored out there, then that's a little different. I thought something would have happened tonight. But that's what I was confused about. And also like a Derek White trade as well. I was sort of surprised by that. Maybe something happens after free agency. We see some of their chips land. But right here, I'm a big Duke fan. I tweeted before this draft started that Isaiah Evans would be a good choice here. The Celtics were lacking a lot of scoring off the bench after they traded Anthony Simons. This right here could be that pick. Again, you never really know with Boston. They went with Hugo Gonzalez last year at a much higher spot. But this one is interesting. I will say, though, that OKC did a tremendous job to kind of try and get another body to throw at Wemby and give them options.
Man, you're not lying. Yeah. I'm surprised that we didn't have more trades in this draft. I feel like there have been actually very few surprises in this draft, Martino. It's been much more of like the picks make sense. You've had a couple guys maybe drop a few spots or whatever, but overall where the mock drafts were kind of sitting at the end and where the reports were of who's interested in who, we're kind of getting the results I think that we mostly expected, especially in the top 4 there. I mean, you and I did the lottery show together where obviously the Wizards got the number 1 pick and everything, that's where the real surprise was, because you don't know how the lottery is going to shape out. But in this draft, the actual draft, it's been relatively predictable at this point, which, listen, it's sometimes that's the way it goes. You just have an understanding of where these teams want to pick. But, once the Giannis trade went down, I feel like at this point, you and I were texting before this, it's just kind of felt like, okay, this is relatively predictable where we are. We got some guys obviously sitting here in the green room now that are hoping to be first-round picks right at that end. But other than that, it has not been like there have been no shockers in this draft.
No, not at all. I think the only thing that would have been shocking if Boozer fell out of the top 3 or relatively shocking.
Yeah.
Everything just kind of made sense. There's like a steady difference in between each prospect. I thought Dybantsa would have been the guy. Oh, well, here Adam Silver's announcing the Boston pick.
All right, so you might be a little ahead of me. So
okay, so I'll hush up.
Yeah, you're definitely just a little bit ahead of me right now. But they keep showing Isaiah Evans. So I feel like there's this is what I always hate is they hint, and it's mostly just obviously people that are sitting in the green room. All right, so Adam Silver's coming up to the podium for me now. So that's the one thing, man. Everybody watching on something different. All right, here we go. Boston Celtics pick at 27. Chris Sinek Jr. Okay, so he's been sitting there for a while. That's a big that I thought would maybe go a little bit earlier in this draft. But the Celtics add themselves a big body, which I think they could probably use, right?
Really what it is for the most part for me, I think was the biggest weakness for this team this year was the front court. It wasn't just Luke Cornett that you lose in Porzingis. Those sort of interior presence that you lack throughout the playoffs in its entirety is a huge issue for them. He has the ability to shoot a little bit too. They didn't really have a big that could shoot much. I'm not saying he's going to be lighting it up from 3, but
right.
They just need bodies. They just need bigger bodies at this point. A lot of this team is Shireman, Hauser, Peyton Pritchard, Derek White. There's a lot of guards on this team, and I thought maybe get more scoring with Isaiah Evans, but going with a 6'11" big at this point doesn't necessarily shock me. There's rumors of a Rob Williams reunion as well. I have a very hard time believing this all stays together. Yeah, Time Lord is one of the greatest nicknames ever donned by Reddit, Celtics Reddit. That was a great one because he overslept his first practice for the team. I just don't know. I'm not very optimistic about the Celtics' future. There's a lot of murkiness with Jalen's situation. If he wants in or he wants out, I think Derek White's value has declined quite a bit. I know there was rumors of Trey Murphy tonight, but none of that manifested. And Tatum is still coming off an Achilles. As good as he looked, that's still murky as a future. I think he has to play through an entire season and a good playoffs in order for a lot of fans to feel better about the situation. It's one thing when you come back early, you play very well, and then you got soreness in your leg and you miss a game 7. That matters. You blow a 3-1 lead regardless if Jaylen Brown was playing or not, or, against an inferior side. And it just was not a great season. I thought there would have been more aggressiveness. Maybe things develop over the next few weeks. I really just am surprised by this. But, the NBA draft is mostly underwhelming when it comes to trades night of. You rarely kind of see big marquee situations happening. Usually we get a flurry of moves the second that you're able to sign with teams, very similar to the NFL. But it's not like the NFL draft where you can have teams dealing for the entire night. This right here, you just see small types of moves like the Knicks getting some cash consideration and just move one spot back.
I know that was the worst trade. It was are they going to get a second round pick? Are they going to get something? No, we're just going to get cash considerations. They wanted to trade out of the first round anyway, and then they couldn't, it sounds like, find an offer. So they just said, we'll move back one spot with the Lakers and get a guy we're probably going to draft and stash anyway. But you figured you'd get something else. Cash considerations is like the ultimate mail-in, where it's like, we have to get something in return. Just write us a check and we'll be fine.
I'm not sure how much that might impact their potential to re-sign Mitch Robinson, because I think that's everything that kind of hinges on this offseason for them. Not like that it's a make or break for next year, but I think what they need is to keep this team together, and not willing to go to the second apron in the New York market after you just won your first championship in 50 years might be one of the weakest moves that James Dolan could do in this moment. You're going to overpay a little bit for a player. But if it's one time that you have your star taking $100 million pay cut, isn't it for stuff like this? You pay it back in that regard. I would be very surprised if they don't get that done. I would assume Leon Rose could convince James Dolan. If Dolan doesn't go with Mitchell Robinson, and who knows, maybe the Knicks could replace him in some other way. I mean, that really kind of would be a soft blow for this team, because they're already going to be losing someone like Shamet. But Diawara's extension makes sense for them. He was pretty exciting as a player this year. They have the depth, but I think Mitch, say OKC gets back to the finals, it's a huge matchup issue for them. I think it'll be a much tougher one than we saw. Like, Luke Cornett was horrendous in this series. Wemby is one thing, and he's limited offensively. But if Chet, Hartenstein, and Mara show things, that's difficult, man. It'll be a tougher matchup. And I think they're going to need someone like Mitchell Robinson to help out Cat, because how important was Mitchell for that? Because we saw Cat get in a huge foul trouble in that series, and it almost cost him sometimes. Obviously, it was a really difficult matchup for him, but you need that. And ultimately, I think they're still safe in the East. I don't think that Giannis trade yesterday has convinced me yet. There needs to be a lot of movement for them in free agency. It's kind of up in the air for the East. Well, actually, I don't think so. I think it's actually the Knicks. But as far as, the Heat and what they're able to do,
where do the Celtics stack up with the Knicks right now for you? Because if you look and again, I know odds are obviously different. It's obviously Knicks, Celtics, and like everybody else is far beyond that. And I know we've got a lot of offseason still, but it just feels like, obviously the Knicks won a championship, but it does feel like the Celtics right now are in this transition period. And you talk about the Jaylen Brown and obviously some of those other trade rumors that are out there, but do you think there's that much of a gap? Because the Celtics have been in that position for years now, and this Knicks team has just kind of climbed into that spot.
I think that they don't have the front court for this. Defensively and offensively, I struggle to see it. Neemias Queta is like a fine backup. There isn't a clear-cut starting top 15 in his position big on the Celtics. I think that that's where they're lacking severely. It's a huge strength for the Knicks, especially if they keep Mitchell Robinson, because him and Cat were the main causes of shutting down the Celtics and turning that series around when Boston went down 2-0. They didn't really have an answer for Cat at certain moments. Their wings match up well. I would expect Derek White to maybe bounce back, but there are some glaring concerns with his shooting percentage dipping the way it did. They haven't fully replaced Drew Holiday either. They lost a lot of key players from that title team, on top of Tatum coming back from a torn Achilles. This is not easy to kind of navigate right now. And sure, they're in their late 20s, and Jaylen Brown will be 30 for next season, I believe. This right here in this 2-year window or so is going to determine the next 5 years. I think the Celtics haven't been further from a ring for the first time probably since 2020, I would like to say. During the COVID shutdown, when it was really Brooklyn, they got swept by them, or it might have been a 5-game series. I haven't felt very optimistic. I think there still needs to be a huge move. You can't go back into next season with this core and Senak as your big addition as a big man. You need other defensive players. I'm just not sure of it. I thought maybe something with Utah, but if they're getting Peterson in there now, Danny Ainge is going to be swinging for the fences. I thought potentially maybe someone like Kessler would have been somebody that they're interested in. But if they're convinced of Robert Williams again at this point, it's tough. I thought he did pretty good with staying healthy in Portland. Considering I think he was a huge absence in the 2022 finals. Because if he if he was healthy in that one, it's a totally different series, I think, against Golden State. I'm not convinced of it. I don't think there's a slam dunk move. You potentially have a fractured locker room with Jaylen Brown. If rumors are true that he wants out and he wants his own team, that's something I think Brian Windhorst was discussing. Some other Celtics beat reporters had kind of floated that possibility. I am not fully convinced that they're going to move forward with this core, and I just don't know what would happen and who. I saw the Clippers were a team potentially interested in trading whoever they had at number 5 or before the draft. I don't see how anything has changed. It's just it's fascinating. So I don't know.
The one thing yeah, I mean, it's an active front office though, right? Like we know it's not like they're going to sit around. Brad Stevens isn't going to sit around and just like keep this roster the way that it is. But yeah, it all hinges really on the Jaylen Brown situation. You talk about a fractured locker room and where I just feel like Jaylen Brown's time is up in Boston because he's kind of been in trade rumors for like the last couple of seasons, and this was the loudest with Milwaukee and him saying he doesn't want to go there. And he obviously knows, not to mention, man, he live streams all the time. Like he could start talking about this stuff a little bit more and be more vocal about it, which could cause all kinds of issues too. Like, I just think that's now that Giannis has been traded, Jaylen Brown's situation in Boston is one of the biggest storylines to watch in terms of offseason news around the NBA.
I think it's the biggest one by far. You wonder if a team thinks to themselves, this is our moment to hone in for a championship, and we're willing to give up capital for a player of Jaylen Brown's caliber, who's still at the very worst, a finals MVP, Eastern Conference Finals MVP 2 years ago. Had a great season being the number 1, who I think Brad Stevens found it to be a little fluky. He alluded to that in his press conferences too, which I think is always telling. And he's not scared to trade away team favorites. This franchise, basically since the KG Paul Pierce trade to the Brooklyn Nets, fans are understanding that anyone can leave at any moment. Marcus Smart was another one of those guys. Isaiah Thomas was traded, who is very popular. I know those moves can happen under Danny Ainge, but Brad Stevens learns from that. And Danny learned from Red Auerbach. That's where these guys learn these things from. You have to make the difficult decisions, but that's best for your franchise moving forward. And Jaylen Brown, at his age, I think he depends a lot upon his athleticism. There's been some injuries in his career. If you actually look at it over the past few seasons, everyone talks about Giannis and his injury absences. Jaylen Brown only has 13 more games played over the course of that span. Giannis largely has not been healthy for the playoffs, but we remember Jaylen also had a wrist injury that saw him miss the playoffs when the Celtics got eliminated by the Nets too. He had a torn meniscus in the series last year against the New York Knicks as well. This is not a player that probably will age greatly within the next 3 years or so. I don't think he's a lights out shooter. A lot of it's on athleticism. And sometimes you have to sell high. If he's 29 going on 30, you got to do it. And I think there's probably no better time. He's coming off a career season where he showed at the very least he could carry in the regular season. If you have that, maybe Houston says, this is our moment. We have to go all in. I don't think like a team like Golden State would do anything. If I'm Golden State, I trade away Steph, but they will never do that.
No.
It's Houston's not going to have anything to offer the Boston Celtics. Like Sengun cannot be the lead guy heading back there. And for them to also want to compete for a championship because you have Kevin Durant. A lot of these teams are in positions where they could trade for Jaylen Brown. And I think the one team that would be interesting and enticing, that it would make sense potentially, is possibly the San Antonio Spurs sending Stephon Castle as that main player, maybe a future pick or two, and then obviously you have to toss in De'Aaron Fox to eat that money. But the Boston Celtics, I don't think will have that deal on the table for them. I don't think Stephon Castle would be dealt. I also don't think that they would even put in Dylan Harper. So the only thing that really kind of entices me out of everything that I've seen that might be possible is Stephon Castle in a deal with the potential salary dump of a Fox, because that's a huge boost for San Antonio. If they're told they can get rid of the Fox contract and add a future Hall of Famer in Jaylen Brown, and all you have to give up is Stephon Castle, you could still keep Harper, and you have Wemby, and you have Vassell and other players, I think that they would be able to digest that and say, now we have a guard that could also take over moments with a young Dylan Harper who played very well in the finals, and we have Victor Wembanyama. can we digest losing Stefan Castle in that situation?
See, that's the tough thing because they're built with such a young core that's there. And obviously Dylan Harper is probably going to take that next step and they want to move off of,
Right.
De'Aaron Fox, even though they're committed to him, Martino. Remember, they've said that they are committed to De'Aaron Fox, which we all know what that means. But yeah. So,
but that's the other thing too, is assuming that their window is open for that long. When we've seen in the past, teams could think that they have a bigger window. I know the NFL is very different. We know what Dan Campbell said after they lost to the 49ers after that halftime collapse. That was our shot. That was our best moment.
Yeah.
We had for an opportunity like that. We see what happens with Boston. Happen on a dime. And I'm not saying Victor Wembanyama is not going to be healthy for the entirety of his career. However, he is still 7'4", 7'5", has had blood clot issues that have ended one of his seasons already.
Yeah.
It's no guarantee. So if you have a window to win one championship and you could still keep a really talented guard, you get in a guaranteed all-NBA, all-star type level guard, dump a salary, and you still have Wembanyama, I think truthfully you have to go for it if I'm San Antonio, but those decisions are kind of murky. To your point is that they have like such a young core. They think that repeating what Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, and Manu Ginobili were like for 15 plus years. Just saying that's also a hard thing to repeat. And you're probably better off getting that guarantee instead of hoping, is Stefan Castle ever going to be as good as current Jaylen Brown? Are we sure? I don't know. He might have the potential to do so. I think he's really fantastic. But that's where it lies with them. Because OKC is going to come back and they're going to be very good. There's West teams that have some flexibility that could be very good. I don't necessarily think that their path to get back. That was a rock fight. Like 7-game rock fight that I think they were fortunate. Guys like Mitchell and Jalen Williams weren't playing for OKC because I don't think that they beat them if they're fully healthy. There's just too much more scoring that the Spurs would have had it dealt with. It's crazy. I also think that teams not being aggressive enough for Jaylen Brown are being silly. I think this is that level of a quality player that could elevate a team to a championship. But how many of them make sense that could use him and give something up of value to Boston? Maybe it's a 3-team trade as well, or some team wants to eat salary or something. I don't really know. That's where the difficulty lies in all of this. So yeah, I have no clue. Which also just leads to like the Celtics just say 2 years, $131 million, I think would be the extension for Jalen.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
it's a monster extension.
At that point, do you think he really cares? How many times has he been in trade rumors and it just doesn't happen? And Brad Stevens is very kind of vocal in telling these players and communicating to them about this sort of stuff. Nothing surprises me. I'm leaning towards that. I don't think there's a team that would trade their super young star for Jaylen Brown at this moment, because I don't think there's a singular team that puts it over the top except for the Spurs. That's the only one I see. We could go through the list of every NBA team or teams that were interested in Jaylen Brown. Not doing it. It's just you're not doing it.
The Spurs are an interesting point because, you look at how young that team is, and yet at the same time, that window may not be as big as, some people maybe think. And I think
Wemby's one injury away from that evaporating in thin air.
Yeah.
And I think it's a fair thing to bring up when he's already had some issues. It's just it's not even, I would have said the same thing about Shaq. I mean, there's durability questions that you could say long-term, but the way he is built in the pace of the modern NBA is a huge risk still. You always take it when he falls into your lap at number one, you don't shy away from it.
Of course.
But the window in which you think you have may not be as long as you think. And how many guys have we seen at that size stay in this modern NBA and succeed?
And that's the really important thing to keep in mind, is that the way he plays, he's obviously quick and he's running up and down the court and he's athletic, and that's a lot of strain just on your foot, just feet alone. And we know bigs that have had having, not that he's had foot issues yet, but I mean, if that becomes a thing, that could be what kind of changes.
I mean, it derailed Yao Ming's career.
It did. Yao Ming. Rick Smits is another one that I think of. He's not on that caliber of player, but he was a good big. But he was 7'4".
Was Ralph Sampson his knees or his feet? Because he's another one of those guys that in the 80s obviously had huge potential.
I think Ralph Sampson was knees. Was Brad Daugherty? Brad Daugherty was
I
he
know
fit
Kevin
or was he-
McHale had a foot issue. Liz Frank.
Yes.
But back then it was like you almost have to get an amputee at that point. You just can't move. That derailed his career. There's plenty of bigs. I know Shaq had some foot issues towards the back end of his career. Kristaps Porzingis is another one. KD has had foot issues. KD is also like close to 7 feet. Like, so it's that ability. And talk about like the difference that Wemby also has to add to his offensive game. So he has to be a better interior presence. And sometimes that means putting on some weight or trying to be stronger. Because if you're further away from the basket at your size, as good as you could be and as versatile as that is shooting, your value is still higher when you're in the paint. And if he can't stay in the paint consistently on offense, which was an issue in the series against New York,
right?
I think you significantly limit your ceiling, because the ceiling goes from greatest player of all time to best defensive player of all time with a pretty mediocre offensive game. And that's a huge difference ceiling wise, because then you need more from the other guys offensively. And you only really got it from Mr. Harper. But even then, Mitch Johnson was not coaching well in that series. I think
he looked as inexperienced as the rest of that team out there.
I don't think I've ever seen a bigger coaching mismatch in an NBA Finals than that one.
Yes.
Very hard for me to remember a series like that. I think Joe Mazzulla probably. Oh no, sorry. Well, yeah, Joe Mazzulla. That was in a conference finals, but Eric Spoelstra ran circles around Joe Mazzulla. In 23.
Yes, he did.
How did they go down 3-0? 3-0. 3-0.
Yeah, you're in World Cup mode.
You have no idea. Well, there's one going on right now. So that one is still 0-0. Congo not conceding. So they're alive. But yeah, it's an interesting offseason for the NBA. I'm surprised certain teams weren't more aggressive than I thought. It looked like Minnesota was gearing to do something. The fact that I thought they did phenomenal in that deal. I know they take the L on the Cat deal with Dante and Julius Randle going back there. They took it. It's a fact. But dumping Randle like the way they did just to move 5 spots back is a win for me to get rid of that contract, because you knew after Dante's injury, Randle being the way he is and the lack of spacing they'll have, there wasn't a future there. And to dump that is good. So I guess they're saying Naz Reid will be a point forward. Then you have Rudy Gobert at center, Anthony Edwards there at shooting guard, and then the rest is kind of, we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously Jaden McDaniels is good.
Ayo Dosunmu got his extension, so that that was, they were freeing up some space for that extension for him as well. But yeah, it kind of felt like Minnesota was, and that may be a team whose time has also passed. Now there's reports that like Anthony Edwards could get traded at some point, which, I feel like is going to happen, because if that team starts to take steps back, he's not the type of guy to just sit there and say, I'm just going to play here forever. He'll definitely look to get to another market.
Well, like they missed their window too. It's like, who's the best player that you can add on the Minnesota Timberwolves that wouldn't completely gut their roster? And you say no one. And then you're faced with the decision of like, how do we get past OKC? How do we get past San Antonio? And even if we were capable of getting past those teams, could we beat the Knicks? Could we beat, I don't know, if Miami gets somebody? I'm not convinced by it. We saw their ceiling. We know what Naz Reid is. He's a really good role player on a team. He's not going to elevate to an all-star level player. Neither is Rudy Gobert. His ceiling is an elite, all-defensive NBA type of defender. And what else? Jaden McDaniels, another really good role player. There isn't a guy that like you look to play off of Anthony Edwards, which is really difficult in the parity era of this NBA, that you get a guy of equal like super talent. I don't see how it works. I don't see a team willing to trade with them that whatever they could get. But the best player they're going to give up is Naz Reid. What is Naz Reid going to fetch you in a trade?
Yeah.
Jaden McDaniels in a trade. What's that going to fetch you? Nothing. I don't see what you get in return that's so much better. I don't see it. So I think that's really the problem here with Minnesota. They wouldn't obviously give up Anthony Edwards in that trade for Luka. So that's kind of where they stood too.
Yeah.
So what are you willing to give up for what player? And I know Nico Harrison's out of his mind. That's why he was still going to do that. But I think NBA teams, and especially like Minnesota with your boy A-Rod running them, like, are we convinced that they're making the good decisions right now? Because the Cat one backfired astronomically,
Yep.
and they're just dumping this money, and they're not that franchise that's going to go over and extend, go into these second
Nope.
aprons.
No.
What is the point of them? I don't get it. So even Denver's the same thing. If I'm Denver, I'm considering trading Jokic. I would have to consider something. Jamal Murray, you trade him for what? Again, same thing. Who are you going to fetch? Christian Brown's contract is a nightmare. There's a lot of issues out west.
I think Jokic, by the way, the last 2 picks is the first round has now officially wrapped up. Alex Caravan going 29 and Koa Pete with the last pick in the first round. So that has officially wrapped up now. You mentioned something here before we wrap this up. I think Nikola Jokic is a year away from asking for a trade out of Denver. I think losing in the first round again, the way they did, and the struggles they've had since winning the championship, and just the way that he looked at the end of that playoff series. And now we can make the jokes about he loves his horses, go back to his horses. He also wants to win. He's a multi-time MVP and an NBA champion and all these things, and one of the best players in the NBA still. I think we are a year away from, and maybe a little less. Maybe it starts as a whisper. It's already kind of been a whisper, but it's very, very quiet. I think this time next year, if the Nuggets don't make significant strides back,
what team.
I think you know exactly what team
that you're thinking of. Are you thinking of a team that he gets traded to? Is that what you're about to say?
I think the Thunder would be a perfect fit for him.
Oh, you think?
That's the team I would throw.
I was going to say he tries to force his way to play with Luka in LA.
I mean, that would be incredible.
Because they have that. They have a pretty good relationship, from what I understand.
Yeah.
OKC though, yes, I'm throwing whatever you want.
They've got the assets. They got the assets
all these
too.
Picks that we have. Okay, sure. Chet Holmgren or Jalen Williams. You pick one of the two. If you want both, you could take both. It's a back-to-back MVP going with a guy that like probably could have won 5 in a row, and you can hide him on defense because you're one of the best defensive teams ever. I mean, yeah, I think it's enough. Well, OKC, same thing. You have all these assets. You have to go. I think you have to go all in for one, because if you already had one, like, why wouldn't you try and guarantee a second? I think you can. You get Jokic in there. You could do a repeat. You could be the first repeat winner since Golden State. Him and Shea, SGA is overkill. You wouldn't be able to stop them. And Jokic is going to be one of those guys that could age forever. If he really wanted to, he would be tremendous at like 35, 36. He could still control an entire game.
Yes.
So that's a good shout. You think with Denver, I wonder if Denver is one of those franchises that gets so stubborn about holding on with him. And do you think he's that type of personality that would demand a trade? Maybe. It's kind of.
I mean, we didn't think Giannis would do that, because Giannis has that sort of like loyal to the team that drafted me mentality, but even that finally soured. So I feel like it could get to that point with Jokic. Like, it would be more of just like he would just pout, and not pout, but just be like the way he looked at the end of his press conference, where he's just dropping subtle hints of like, well, this is happening again. Like, here we lost in the first round. We haven't gotten better. It'd be a lot of that stuff where he'd almost get like sullen, might be the word, a sullen mindset.
Like
I think that would start to weigh on him.
I mean, losing to Minnesota
dejected
again,
is a good word. Yes.
Losing to Minnesota again in the manner in which they also had their injuries. And Denver was perfectly healthy. The appointment of their head coach, firing Mike Malone the way that they did, it's a little rocky over there. It's not necessarily beautiful. And guess what? Jamal Murray not even coming back close to the level that he was on that championship team, which he needed to play at a very, very, very high level for them to win the title. The West is so much better than it was then. So either your answers are huge and big, you mortgage your future, sell off a good player for somebody that's really good from the East. I don't kind of see it for them. I think you're right. I think he eventually has to end up leaving there. We'll see. It could be a generational haul, though. Could be like the biggest haul that you get in NBA history. I would just try and take Jalen Williams, and I would take whatever else money you need to match it. Hartenstein would probably be one of those guys you have to take back because they don't pay a lot of guys there. And And that's that. But you got all those assets for one reason, Sam Presti. Got to use them.
And at some point, you can swing them. All right, Martino, it was great to have you on, man. Really appreciate it. We've been on so long, my headphones literally just died in my ears. So whether it might be my laptop or we're just going to be silent with each other. But make sure you check out Martino's coverage of the World Cup for us as well, and everything else that he does, not just for GameDay Garage, but I mean everything on social. He does incredible work. Obviously this World Cup is just getting started. NBA draft first round is done. We're not streaming for the second round because the second round and that's just exhausting, and there's just no way. But this first round, quieter than what we expected, but now we've got a lot of insight, too, on what the Celtics might do. Martino, I appreciate it. We are done. Make sure you give everybody a follow on all the socials, like and subscribe on, YouTube, and then, of course, we've been streaming freaking Twitch, and, this has been a fun draft, but not as many trades and all the chaos that we expected. But I'm here till the end. Jenks rolled out 2 picks before. AJ Dybantsa goes number 1 to the Wizards. Darryn Peterson 2. You got Cam Boozer 3 and Caleb Wilson 4. Exactly the way the mock drafts essentially played this thing out when it was all done. All of you that watched on all the different platforms, big numbers. Appreciate it. I see it all on here. It's great. I'm exhausted. I'm calling it a night. We got a lot more stuff coming up with GameDay Garage. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Of course, give us a follow on all the socials as well. See ya.